Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's Your Genesis, my talk show. I am your host, Active Genesis, and today I have with me a very lovely guest by the name of Dividia. Say hello to everyone.
Goodbye. Hi.
Goodbye. Just leaves the set.
Yes, goodbye, everybody.
Oh my
Hello.
goodness.
Hello,
Oh,
my
but
name's
hello.
Dividia.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, what you stream, what you do?
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Dividia, not to be confused with Markiplier. I am I am a mummy monster VTuber. I am a variety streamer, and I generally like to stream. Back in the day when I first kind of started VTubing, I was doing League of Legends stuff, but more so these days I kind of do a little bit of just chatting, art, live 2D work, trying to think of what else. Just, I guess, anything, everything.
All at
I like to try
once.
it. Yes, everything at the same time until somebody bursts into flames and dies, so.
Oh
So,
man. You know,
yeah.
that's fair. That's fair. Having a lot of hobbies isn't a bad thing, though. I think it's better than the people like, oh, I don't have any hobbies. It's like literally, there's a coworker at work. I asked her, I was like, specifically, I asked her, hey, dude, what do you do outside of work? What are your hobbies? She's like, nothing. I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, I just sleep. I'm just like, okay, well, you're a boring shell of a human being.
Yeah,
In my
sleeping is
head.
their hobby. Maybe they're trying to be a marathon sleeper and they're training. It's their training arc. Yes.
Their training arc. Oh
Honestly,
god.
I just can't imagine that because I feel like even if you don't do an quote unquote anything, you probably do something. Like, you probably watch TV. You
Or
know,
watch
I feel like
YouTube
that's
Shorts,
something.
something.
Yeah, or you cook dinner, right? Do you have pets? You got to do something with your pets. You can't just go home and stare at the wall. I don't.
Yeah,
you,
it's like
you do something.
people who say they don't do anything or don't have any hobbies are the people I'm like, okay, well you are just you are giving me nothing to talk to you about, nothing to
Yeah.
find out your passions. So it's like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand. Oh yeah, I just don't do anything, and I'm like, you have to do something, or maybe it's the fact that or maybe they do things. I don't know why I keep saying do. I'm sorry.
I noticed that too. We're both children. We're both children.
But it's like you have to do something at the very least. It might be because they don't feel like what they enjoy doing is worth discussing. That could also be a possibility. You never know. People are
Yeah.
strange. Hmm.
My ex actually said the same thing. I'm realizing she also was like, "Oh, I don't do anything. I don't have any hobbies." And it's just I'm noticing a pattern with people. Like the thing is, obviously she does do stuff because she had Netflix shows she wanted to show me, and so we'd watch those. It's like you do stuff. You have hobbies. You
Yeah.
watch
You have
Netflix.
interests at the very least. Yeah.
It's like, oh my
Um,
god.
that's funny because my ex would always call me boring. He was the opposite. He's like, "You're boring." And I'm like, "Damn." All
Really?
right. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I've talked with you a little bit about him before, but like he was kind of narcissistic and a little bit emotionally abusive. So that was kind of one of the ways that he would just like, make me feel insecure was to tell me that I'm boring. And it's just like, I know
You
I'm
are
not.
anything but boring. I know I've only known you for
Yeah.
about a month, or maybe like a month and a half, but you are not boring
Nah.
in
I
any
don't think
means.
anybody is I don't think anybody is truly boring. I think a lot of people, if they say they have no interest, I don't believe them because there's no all sorts of people can be interesting. People can have flat personalities, sure, but I don't think that necessarily means that they're entirely boring, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
sorry, my dog just like started to run and pant. I'm like, "What are you doing, dog?"
no problem, no problem. Our dog right now is having problems with her butt, so we have to have her wearing a diaper a little bit here and there.
uh, yeah,
I think they also
unfortunate.
take her to the
Oh boy.
vet because it's pretty bad.
Mm, yeah.
Uh,
Thankfully, mine doesn't have any issues. He just sees things that aren't there sometimes.
I think all animals do that, dude. Cats do that all the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. he'll be napping, and all of a sudden he'll wake up and go, "Arr!" And I'm like, what the? Jesus Christ, you scared me. What are you doing? And I'm looking around. I'm like, there's nothing there. Stop it.
Oh, speaking of looking around and there's nothing there, you remind me of a very scary trend I keep coming back to, and it's terrifying me. I don't think I'll ever stay in Airbnb, and I might be very careful about what hotels I stay in, because I've been getting YouTube shorts about the people like they explore their Airbnb or their hotel room, and they find hidden cameras or a hidden one-way mirror that people can sit behind and watch through. And it's
Free
terrifying.
porn?
Yeah, it's terrifying. So it's like people will like place like a smoke detector right above the bed, and if you shine a light on it, you'll notice there's a blue lens in the smoke detector, which is
What is that called?
a camera. I'll be right back. I'm gonna knock at the door.
Yeah. Is it voyeurism? Yes, it's like voyeurism, but like in public areas, voyeurism. I'm gonna teach your chat terrible things today. Voyeuristic, relating to or denoting sexual pleasure gained from watching others when they are naked or engaged in sexual activity.
Yeah, yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And the last short, because I just had one, and this is why it's fresh in my mind, is because I just watched a short before this, where they were exploring a hotel room that behind the wardrobe had a door, like a hidden door, and they opened it, and there's a whole hidden room behind there, and there's the one-way glass that looks into the bedroom, and or the bathroom. I think it's the bedroom actually. And then, but then inside, then that tunnel has another door to like another dark hidden tunnel. So it's like everyone in the comments was like that place is probably used for human trafficking. They probably wait till you're sleeping to come in and kidnap people.
Fucking Christ.
It's
See, all
terrifying.
my TikToks have furries or stupid memes like the or Tris Mechanique de Elise Cardinal thing.
I am so glad I've not gotten that one. I keep trying to get away from that meme. But my TikTok is my TikTok is full of it's interesting. My TikTok is so this is how you know I have a lot of variety in what I watch. There's a lot of Lethal Company clips, a lot of video game funny moments, but there's also a lot of truckers, like semi-truckers, like yelling at people, or they're giving tours about what they do in their cabin. Like one guy showed a video about how he installed an Xbox and TV inside of his semi-truck for when he's going to bed inside his truck. Which I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah, that seems like awesome. Like the like those people who travel around in their like decked out vans or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in the semi trucks, because I mean, like I've watched some series on like the national truckers, and like they do literally live out of their semis, and I think this one in particular was about like their diet on the road and stuff, and they're like, if you could just eat healthier, and I'm like, these guys probably don't have that option. It's really hard for them, you know?
Yeah.
So they kind of have to rely on fast food.
There's no way I could be a semi truck driver just because it's so hard for me to function without a hot shower in the morning.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, there's also like the trucking stops that have the showers and stuff. Like where I live, we actually have one of those, and I've never seen the facilities because I have no reason to go down into the shower area, but there's a shower area right underneath of there. Not only that, it's like a gas station with foods and stuff, in addition to being attached to a restaurant. So it's like a 3-in-1 stop shop for like truck drivers. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't doubt there's showers, but you know, at the same time, it's probably a little awkward.
I mean, I guess it depends. So
Yeah.
I'm not a truck driver. I can't. Really
I respect truck drivers though. You know, semi trucks. The thing is, so many people
keep the nation going.
They do, and also it's like you see so many bad drivers around semis. It's so bad. Like they're trying to cut semis off. They try and do not try and brake check a semi. The PSA to anyone watching: do not brake check a semi. It does not end well, and typically semi truck drivers have a dash cam.
And you will probably die.
That too. Honestly, maybe you deserve it. You know, Darwin test or whatever. you know, freaking what is it? What is that test called? Like oh, what is it? Like it's like a scientific term for people like natural selection. There it is.
Yeah. I
Came
mean,
to
you
mind.
did have it right the first time. Darwinism.
Yeah,
So
Darwinism. Yeah.
Darwin test. There's a tip that I have that I learned very long time ago when I was learning how to. Oh, Darwin's award is what hero in my chat says. Uh, the test. The advice that I got when I was first learning how to drive, especially around semis, is when you are passing a semi on the highway, if you have highways, or even in general, if you have to pass a semi, you always have to make sure that you can see both of their headlights in your rear view mirror before you merge back into the original lane, because if you can only see one or none, they are too close to you. So that is the only advice I still stick to when it comes to semis to this day. And also, don't like
be in their blind spot.
Ride their ass. Yeah.
That too. I mean, their ass is their blind spot, so really don't.
Yeah. Or like even halfway down the side is a blind spot as well. So.
Yep. Although I believe they say like for truck drivers, like they try not to have any blind spots. Like they say there's a blind spot on the left and right, but from what I've heard, most of their trucks do have mirrors to see those blind spots. But still, it's still wise not to be like in the middle between a semi, because if they have to get over for any reason, it's not good for you.
Yeah, and the only other thing is that if you are going to pass a semi on the highway, try not to pass them on their right side, so their passenger side. Try not to, because they are less likely, first and foremost, to see you, and if you honk to try to get their attention, if you have to honk, they cannot hear you, as opposed to the driver's side, of course.
Yeah,
so
also,
that is the only other
your
advice.
model has some really good eye tracking. I watched you roll your eyes.
I didn't. If my eyes rolled, I didn't mean to. I am wearing glasses, so sometimes it's a little wonky on occasion. Yeah.
That's why I don't wear my
I can
glasses while I stream. The thing is, I've been told I should, but because my glasses have like blue light in them, but.
Mine do too.
Yeah, it's just like I'm just like it's a problem the way like wearing headphones with glasses is just a problem.
I have over-the-ear headphones, so that isn't so much an issue for me, but I also can't, like, if I were, okay, so the distance between me and my monitors, if I take my glasses off, I cannot see anything. So I kind of have to wear them.
Yeah, so you're nearsighted, right?
I am very nearsighted. I think my prescription for my glasses is like a negative 4.5 in one eye, and then like a -5 in the other, if I remember correctly.
For me, I'm farsighted, so it's a different problem. I mean, I can't even drive without my glasses, because things at a distance just get blurry. It's just like I can still see stoplights and crap, so it's like I can still drive.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't. I mean, I could if it was a couple of days without my glasses, and if I was like in the sunlight for a couple days, my vision would probably improve enough for me to drive during the daytime at the very least, but at night I would not be able to see whatsoever. But generally speaking, my vision is so bad that I cannot drive at all without glasses at this point.
Yeah.
So eyesight not good, squad. But yeah, it's like when I worked in landscaping, my eyesight actually was steadily improving, and that's because artificial lighting ruins your eyes more so than your genetics ever will, honestly.
Really?
Lighting, yes. Artificial LEDs, you know, blue lights, things like that. That's why they say to reduce your screen time. My optometrist also said that if I am going to be spending a lot of time on screens, I have to at least every hour to 2 hours to like get up and look far away. Because that helps, you know, keep your eyes from getting fatigued, you know, and developing worse nearsightedness, which I don't do because my life is the internet.
I have an interesting story to tell you, but real quick, I just want to say thank you so much, Made for the Cold, for coming to the YouTube side of the stream. Much appreciated. Welcome to have you here. And I will say, Dividia is also streaming at the moment. Normally, you know, I will say...
I normally don't.
Yeah. and normally my guests don't while the show is going, but you know what? I'm fine this time, especially because, you know, you went live around the time I went live. Last time I tried streaming, that somebody was insistent about streaming during my talk show, they were already streaming for like an hour before the show, so I had to set up
Yeah.
awkwardly while the call was. Let's just say it made it a very awkward
Yeah.
situation for me. I don't like I like having time to set up when no one can watch and hear me do it other than my
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
It's
And
just yeah.
I figured that would be the case, which is why when I did start it, I had everything muted except for the background music until we actually were started to talk about some interesting stuff prior to like actually being live. And I was like, this sounds really interesting. This should be like nice behind the scenes conversation right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I normally don't even stream when somebody else is hosting a collab because I'm like it feels awkward for me, but I feel like my chat's not active enough to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna respond to them. And usually if I'm like talking to another person, they understand like, hey, I'm actually talking to this other person.
Yeah.
We're good. You don't have to give us attention.
Yeah, I normally, like I said, the only collab, like my talk show's the only thing where I ever go, oh, maybe don't stream, and that's like this depends on the guest, I guess, mainly, and how they go about it. Just because mainly it makes it easier on my end, but plus, because how I have my talk show set up, I actually have a studio and stuff for it.
Yeah.
But normally it's like I have friends that I've known for 3 years now, and it's like they'll be like I'll be playing Halo custom games. They'll be like, it's okay if I stream. I'm just like, we've known each other for 3 years, and I literally never tell you not to stream with me. It's like I have no problems with people streaming with me other than the talk show. It's like if you want to play a game with me, stream. As long as I'm not like here's the thing, if I'm streaming, feel free to stream. That's just my go-to phrase for people. Just because it's like we're trying to help each other grow. It's like it's why I feel bad. There's a lot of friends I have that aren't content creators, and I mainly stream with other content creators other than them, which I feel bad, but it's mainly because I'm trying to have mutual growth.
Yeah. I'd have a friend who lives in my state who is also a streamer. He's a fleshy streamer, but he's got like his own brand and everything. He's the Mohawk Man. He does actually have a mohawk in real life, I promise. And he was telling me the one time that we were hanging out that he streams when he is gaming with like friends and stuff. He's like, sometimes it's a little awkward just because they're not streamers. And I was like, man, that's kind of risky, dude. Like,
Meat tubers.
Yeah,
Oh
meat
my goodness.
tubers.
I'm pretty sure that people call them flesh tubers. Either way, I don't like that
Fleshies.
term.
I like fleshies. It's funny.
Uh,
I like it. I like it a lot.
oh man.
It's
Fleshies.
terrible. That's why it's funny.
What's sad is the term fleshy has been kind of ruined for me because I used to have a friend, and I'm not gonna say his full name, but his nickname was Fleshy. Actually, I think he changed his name. I think he's changed his Twitch name, but he used to go by Fleshy Mike, and again. Apologize if he still goes around. If anyone knows that nickname, I don't want to badmouth him too much. But let's just say he was a really good friend, a very good guy, very nice to me. Was very supportive during a very bad time in my life. I was going through a breakup with an online relationship that turned very sour very fast. A lot of drama ensued, and he was there for me. The issue is when Pride Month came around. He made a comment on Twitter, posted saying, fuck Pride Month, it shouldn't exist. And then proceeded to be very rude to our homosexual friends, that are mutual friends of both of ours. And he literally told them, well, in my religion, you're going to hell for being gay. And I was like, okay, dude, I'm not keeping you in my community. I'm sorry. You are out. You are out for harassing our friends. I can't have you around.
Right. And I think you talked about that. And I think it's kind of silly, honestly. And I'm super glad that I don't have like a non-political rule because like it's like you can't help but to talk about these kinds of things because some people are like, oh, it's political. It's just like, no, it's just basic human decency, man.
For me, that it's not that it was political, like that, like nothing about that. It's just the fact that he made this comment, and like if he had apologized to our friends or like he had told them,
shown genuine remorse.
Yeah, like, but
yeah.
It's like, can we go? Can we carpool? Going to hell? Can we carpool? Oh my gosh,
yes,
Rai.
you can carpool with me anytime, Rai. I will make sure to strap you to the roof of my car too.
Oh man. And you know, and the thing is, people can believe whatever they want to believe. Religion is that's the whole point of religion. It's a freedom of religion. You know.
Yeah.
And it's very sad that people have been killed over religious beliefs. I mean, and I like, and there's wars over religion. Religion is one of those things. It's just like politics. It has a very dark history, and it's a bit sad because religion is mainly just supposed to be how people are trying to. It's another way of living your life, and the fact that people don't want to let you live your life the way you want is kind of fucked.
Yeah,
I'm a truck kind of gal, like glorified Scooby-Doo.
The trunk, yeah. Throw them in the trunk.
In the trunk.
So we were talking about that in my history class about like religion and its importance and everything and how it affects like history. And I've always been of the impression, and especially since I took a sociology class in like high school, that religion is more of a construct and it gives people a sense of purpose. And and people can believe what they want to believe, and I don't mind that. That's just what it means to me personally, as a person who is not super religious or even super spiritual. It's just a concept, and it gives people a sense of direction, a sense of morals, a sense of ethics, and you know, you're free to believe what you want, and I'm not going to judge you based off of that. So
exactly the same here. As long as you don't try and push your belief onto me, we're fine. We're gonna be good friends. Just don't try and push your beliefs onto me or hate me for my beliefs.
Yeah. Or if you do, then bye. I don't have time to deal with that,
no,
man.
get out. And I will say this.
Leave me alone.
And I will say this. So I personally like to believe that when I die, I'm going to be isekai'd, like an anime protagonist. That's just how I want to believe, being reincarnated.
It's like a way of being reincarnated. That's what I kind of think of too. But on like that's kind of why I like what's that movie Fluke a lot. The fact that you go in a series of like specific animals that you have to be specifically reincarnated to. So like the guy dies, right? And he dies and is reincarnated as a puppy, which is awesome. And then he meets this guy who is an older dog and is getting taught the ways of being a dog, and they remember their human lives. So as dogs, because they can't really be like, oh, people can't claim that they're crazy for having this past life because they're dogs. Dogs can't talk. And then by the end of the movie, the older dog is reincarnated as a squirrel, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Oh my god, that's pretty funny. I like that. I will say that something that's terrifying to me. So I like listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He pops up, going back to talk about YouTube Shorts, I get a lot of cat videos, dog videos as well. I get cooking videos.
Neil deGrasse in years.
Yeah, he started popping up, and I love listening to him because he's always so passionate. I love him talk about space, but he also talks about a lot of other stuff. Somebody asked him since he's not that religious, or like what he believes will be after death. And he says right away, he's like, you're probably not gonna like my answer, but this is my belief. And he says that you're going to enter the same exact state of existence you were before you were born, a state of non-existence, because before you were born, you did not exist. So, and he's like, so if that is the case, most likely when we die, we go back to the state we were in before we were born, which is kind of terrifying to think about. But you know,
I think about it more this way. It could be that, but technically,
it could be anything.
The Black Eyed Peas, as the Black Eyed Peas once said, energy never dies.
Energy never dies.
But like seriously, your energy doesn't essentially die; it just goes to somewhere else. So like whether you have the belief of whether or not you have a soul or whatever, your consciousness may not exist, but your energy does, and that can never die, essentially.
Yeah.
So,
I will say
honestly,
that... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say we could probably move on from this topic.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say
this particular topic has given me existential crises twice in my life, and I would like to.
Let's move on. I will say, so Rye says hand over the cat videos, and so the funny thing is I have a playlist that I've been saving of just YouTube shorts I like, and I've been very tempted to either do a stream or at least record a video with some VTubers. And have like 3 of them react to my saved YouTube shorts, and just like do a reaction video, like maybe either try not to laugh or something, and just see how, like, you know, because reaction videos are very easy to record, and I think they'd be fun. Just sit down and show some of the stuff I've saved, find out if people like my humor or if not. Some of them are funny. Some of them I just think are interesting. It's like I do have like a couple Neil deGrasse ones in there that are interesting. Nothing existential crisis causing, but just interesting ones. I think I do have a funny one saved of. I don't know if I saved this. There was a Neil deGrasse clip where he was on. I don't know. Remember the show? It has another African American man who. It's a game show. One where he asked people to hit a buzzer, and it's like.
Family Feud.
Family Feud, yeah, that's what it's called. So he was on Family Feud. Neil deGrasse was on Family Feud, and he was who is the host of Family Feud, by the way?
Shit. I always forget his name.
So hi, am I? I forgot to say hello, but hello. Nilly is here, the ice cream gal.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. So Steve Harvey was like Neil and Steve were cracking up so hard because I think Neil was just being like a little gremlin on his show for once.
Yeah, we love gremlins. Yeah.
I just love people in general. I'm a people lover. It's like as long as you're a good person, I'm gonna like you. If you're a shithead, I'm not gonna like you.
I don't know. I've seen. I mean, other than Steve from Blue's Clues pop him up every now and then, I don't really remember seeing anybody from like my younger days, honestly, you know?
I saw like I think it was just like a YouTube poop or like a parody where someone was like pretending to make like a horror film. It's like so Steve and all his other like inanimate object friends are like trying to track down a murderer who leaves behind a blue paw print in every crime scene. And I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. You turn Blue's Clues into like a serial killer.
Right. What was it I was thinking about? Oh, one of the, I think I mentioned for my TikToks, almost all of mine are like the goofy things and like furries and stuff. So I have a perfect combination of furry and goofy, and it does involve like the gender pronouns, but I don't think it's like necessarily making fun of like gender pronouns specifically. It's more like making fun of like the state of your mind, and the furry in the short was like, oh, my pronouns are and I identify as you know, like they're dying, you know, and I'm like, that's the kind of humor I like.
Oh man, I will say I actually wanted to steer back into this because you know, I always ask people what got you into VTubing, and since we've talked about this off stream, I wanted to wait a little bit before I forgot about some stuff I want to talk about, because I do know it's a longer story on your end, your adventures into VTubing and the internet with the bronies and all that stuff.
Oh god, yeah, the bronies. But that's not how I got into VTubing specifically. That's how I got into the furry fandom specifically, but not into VTubing.
Yeah, true.
I don't, and honestly, it's been so long with the whole brony thing that I don't even remember how I got into bronies other than watching the My Little Pony show. I actually do like watching the My Little Pony show. I don't think I'm like caught up to date on everything, and I also don't, just like the majority of other bronies, I do not like the newest series.
I can't believe there's a Doctor Who pony now.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, everybody saw him as a background character, and they just identified him as the Doctor Who pony. And that was actually one of my favorite Tumblrs, was the Doctor Who pony. Shit, I gotta find that now. But it was a whole thing, and I love that comic series so much.
It wasn't actually
because they made him such a narcissist.
I'm pretty sure he was in the animated show, or at least I know I saw an animation with him. I'm pretty sure he was on.
I think it was like Ask Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Hooves.
Doctor Hooves, yeah. It was very specifically made by this one account. What are they? Where is it? This is not the right. Oh, there they are. Is this it? No, that's not it. Okay, I can't find them. But I know I remember their very specific art style because they made a secondary series with the pony who in a different alternate universe where he was manipulated and in a abusive relationship with Discord, and it was based on their own real life being in an abusive relationship, you know. And I was like, this person's real. I really like them. And like I was sad, and I lost track of it for the longest time because my interest just kind of shifted a little bit. So I went from being a brony to being an Undertale nerd, which is where this character actually comes from. But more so when I discovered VTubers, I was just perusing YouTube one day, and I get this recommended video about how this person was talking about Discord mods. And I forget the name of that video. I could probably pull it up. But it was a video by Nux which
Yes.
ironically that video did get taken down and it got re-uploaded. And I saw it again. I'm like, hey, that's the video that got me into this.
Oh man, that's funny.
And I cannot. Oh, I catfished predators on Discord was the specific title of this video. It was before Nux even had a model. And I started watching a lot of Nux's videos because of that one video. And then eventually discovered Iron Mouse that way. And I was like, because he was talking about VTubers. And I actually had heard about VTubers much earlier than this, but it just didn't register up until like I was watching Nux Taku's videos, and then I discovered Iron Mouse. And Iron Mouse is what drove me into wanting to get my own model and stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, looking at the prices and things, at that point, like a decent model would run you around like $800 to $1,000, I think, or maybe a little bit less, but I still didn't have enough money for that at the time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make my own model, and that's what I did. So I actually have my first model. Would you like to see it? Can I switch it?
Sure.
Does that work?
It
Here.
should work.
Okay. It's very terrible. You are currently in a collab. Are you sure you want to load this model? Yes, I do.
Just gotta wait for
it
it
is
to
very
load now.
terrible. This is like the very first, my very first model ever. Is it showing up on your side or?
Not yet. It's still waiting a bit.
It's,
There it
it's
is.
still loading.
There it is.
Ew.
Oh my goodness. Very different.
It's a very old model, and the rigging is not quite as polished anymore or anything like that.
Yeah.
My lower half isn't even like rigged at all.
Oh,
But this was
man.
like OG Dividia, and my chat, some of them who have been here for a while may recognize it, but some may not. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was my first model. I'm gonna switch back to the current one. Yes, I am.
Alrighty.
It'll load back up. Oh,
yeah.
somebody's laughing at me. Yes, I know, it's hilarious. It's terrible, I know.
But your current model is very nice.
Thank you. Yep, I also drew it and rigged it. I have one that's in between the two, but I am not going to show it just because I don't want to have it take forever to load. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Yo,
go.
the OG.
I will say something that is very interesting to me with this model. It feels like it feels like the cleavage area is the most detailed part of the whole model. It feels like it looks because the shading looks so realistic in skin tone compared to the rest, like the arms and face. So it's like it kind of like just stands out more.
It's that was because I actually added this later. So this outfit isn't the original one that I drew initially with this one. It was an add-on that I added on.
Yeah.
I used to have shorts too on the bodysuit as well, and I wanted to make it look as good as possible, because I'm actually not the greatest at shading. Ironically enough, I'm really bad at drawing hair. I'm actually really bad at shading overall, I feel like, and that's like, you're probably gonna be like, oh, you're really great, and I'm like, I appreciate it, but I know what my limitations are, and those are the things that I want to improve in as an artist, is my shading and drawing, like anatomy and hair, because hair is really hard. So are hands, honestly.
People are like, oh, you're so good at music. There's a lot I could stand to improve on, though.
Yeah.
Especially with variation. I tend to have a lot of the same bass lines or same chord progressions, especially the same beats. There's a lot I could improve upon there.
Yeah, but no, I adjusted this outfit to not. I like simplicity in models. I think the simpler designs can stand out just as much as an overly busy design, and by overly busy I mean like it has extra accessories and extra colors, and it just screams, ah, look at me, and it's just like, you don't need all that to have a unique silhouette for your character, or even in character design for that matter. I still think simple is a good way to go, and it stands out just as much, if not more, than something that's overly designed. And plus, it makes it easier for people to draw fan art of you. So, yeah.
Yeah. I will say though, real quick, I need to go run the restroom, so I'm gonna.
Sure.
I'm gonna leave it. Oh, hold on, I gotta quickly.
I shall
unlock our model.
entertain.
Yes, let me just go over here real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. He has been locked, everybody. Hello. I wonder what happens if I, Oh, nope, not him. I want him to... Here, I'm gonna move him over here. He's gonna go bye-bye for a little bit. He's gonna stand right there in the corner. And I'm gonna go right here. And I don't know how that looks on, the, stream, actually. On his end. Wait. Let me get caught up with chat on my end. Manhandling him. Yes, always. We always, maul and or manhandle everybody here. So let me get caught up on some, chat stuff. Question is, what world? Yo, what's good here? Hello, big bro Addy. Hello, Matt the Artisan. Hello, Milos. Hello, Hero, by the way. Hello, everybody in the chat. Original form, 2 power for current stream, yes. But still, you are a cutie. Nice work you did. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So, nobody else can see me zoomed in extremely well on, Genesis's end. But on my end, I am very much zoomed in. I am, like, right here. I wish to show you guys, hello, Active Genesis folks. I am here. I am the weird thing. I also forgot to introduce myself fully. My name is Dividia. I'm a mommy monster VTuber. I am not the VTuber that is in your walls, unlike other VTubers. I'm the weird thing in your bed. What is the weird thing in your bed, you might ask? It's me, obviously. I'm, the weird creature in your bed. Don't ask me why. I exist in your bed. I'm not even under your bed. I am in it. I'm always in it. So every time you go to sleep at night, you're just laying on me, and you don't even know it. I'm here to suffocate you. No, I'm just kidding. That's acceptable. Thank you very much.
I have returned.
Oh, okay. I wasn't talking about
Yes.
suffocating people in their sleep. What? You can't prove it.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Oh. Grab him again. I also yeeted you from my screen just in case.
Yeah, I just moved off screen and yeah, I'm back now.
Excellent.
Oh man, but yeah, no, it's funny enough. You just reminded me of a VR chat clip I had of me using a pillow to smother someone in VR chat. That was a really funny clip. I think it actually got into VR Funny back when VR Funny did like it was being a VR chat clip compilation channel. Man, I miss VR Funny doing that, and I want to, you know, as funny as I was attempting to do that for VTubers, or like end of last year, or maybe it was the start of this year. I had a clipping channel, and I would do compilations. So hello, Everest, glad to have you here. I would compile them kind of like a funniest home video style. At the end of the month, I would like bring all the clips I made of them during the month, and I would like add new narration over it to add my own spin on the clip. And it was fun, but the thing is, very quickly I got a bit burned out. For me, I guess it has to do with ADHD, and maybe I don't know if it's ADHD and autism, or if it's just the ADHD, but getting hyperfixated on editing, or hyperfixated on music, or my hyperfixations, the moment they stop, like, or they flip to something else, it's like I get burned out on whatever it was I was doing.
Right. I think it's both of them, because ADHD has hyperfixations and autism also has hyperfixations. The difference between the two, from what I've learned so far, is that ADHD's kind of fluctuates between different fixations a lot, or there are multiple fixations, whereas autism is a little bit more streamlined, I think. But that's just my observation. That might not be true for everybody. I am not a medical professional. Do not take my word as do not take what I say as this is exactly how it is for everyone. So that is just what I observe. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
I am not a professional.
And it's bad for me because those hyperfixations aren't like, it can even apply to people, whether that's them directly, like I'll be hyperfixated on talking to someone who's like, oh my god, this person's so cool, I gotta keep talking to them. Or it could be like if I am hyperfixated on hanging out with a certain group of people, but then all of a sudden, oh, now I'm hyperfixated on a single player game, so now I'm playing that instead of talking to those friends as often as I was.
Hold on a second. I wanted to. Why does this little chat box thingy always like my little box thing in my dock on stream elements or OBS or whatever the heck you call it? Now I can't put it back in. That's what she said. Anyway,
geez.
sorry. ADHD at play. I ran out of medication.
That is very fair. I have had that happen to me.
No, not one.
And it sucks. When you don't have your ADHD meds, it makes it very hard to function.
It does, for sure. And then I get easily distracted by this widget that doesn't want to go back into OBS for some reason. Okay.
Oh, man.
So I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk real quick about that story I mentioned before.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a story for chat. Everybody's chat. So the story was before I hopped onto a call with Genesis here. I was just responding to a match on Hinge because I'm using the dating apps for validation that I am attracted still. No, that's not the real reason. But anyway, I was using it this morning before hopping in the call. And I got matched with this guy. He's like 40 or whatever. And I'm like, that's fine, you know, whatever. And so he was like, you got any plans tonight? And I'm like, probably to study Spanish. I'm like, what is it you're looking for? He's like, I had a pretty rough week and I'm looking for somebody to have some fun with. And normally I'm like, but I was just like, I responded, lol, good luck with that, unmatched.
Yeah, that's very fair. Dude, I just uninstalled Tinder myself because, so every time I've used Tinder, I've always hated it because it's the dating app that makes me feel the least
satisfied.
Not just satisfied, but the least what's the word I'm looking for? It's like I guess self-validated isn't even the right term, but it's like I just don't feel good when I use it because I hardly get likes and like the people I match with never respond to my messages or never send a message themselves first. Which always sucks. I've only ever actually went on a date with 1 or 2 people from Tinder, I think.
Yeah. As opposed to me never going on an actual date with anybody from Tinder.
Yeah.
I feel like Tinder is definitely more of the like, oh, you're cute, I'm gonna like you and see, hopefully, maybe. And then they're always like, hey, you want to meet up? And it's almost always at their house. So it's definitely more of the hookup type. Whereas Hinge seems to be a little bit more in depth, which is pretty nice about that because you still have the pictures and whatever else, but it also has a nice user platform, I guess, is the layout of it's nice. It actually forces you to like try to engage with people. Yeah. And it just seems to be more fleshed out than Tinder ever could be, honestly.
Yeah.
And it seems like the quality of people are a little bit better too, especially since it's free. Honestly, it's probably the preferable app, and Bumble is also pretty nice too. Bumble actually has in real life meetups. Yeah. I learned that.
Bumble is
I didn't know that.
I probably should reinstall Bumble, and I should also see if I still have the lifetime subscription I had. So it's like what sucks is I always uninstall them when I get into a relationship, and then I end up having to reinstall them because the relationship typically doesn't last long. I've not had a long-term relationship. I mean, I guess maybe my first girlfriend kind of counts because I think we dated for about 6 months to a year, but I also kept on doing everything that was basically dating for about a year because we kept coming over every week to one of each other's houses, kept playing games together, watching shows. Yeah. So I guess that counts as a long-term relationship, kind of, but...
Yeah, I mean, like 6 months to a year is a pretty decent amount of time, and that would be long for a lot of people. Because to me, short term means like friends with benefits sort of situation more so, or like something that's casual. Long term relationship is something that you were probably dating for a while and finally have gotten to the exclusivity talk, and of course then you want and I guess there's life partner. This is how Hinge has it set up, by the way, is like the difference between short-term, long-term, life partner, and then there's the options for short-term, open to long, or long-term. I was starting to stop breathing. Long-term, open to short. Somebody in my chat asks, for reference, what works for a woman looking for a man on Hinge specifically, at least for me being in the Midwest, and this is for specifically me.
Yeah.
For me particularly, I prefer attractive, somewhat in shape, not overly out of shape, nerdy, not a fisher or hunter, although if you do like that, I don't mind, but you can't have a bunch of pictures showing off like deer and fish because that's kind of boring, honestly, to me.
That's totally fair.
Have pictures that first and foremost show you with your face, like at least 3 pictures with your face, and then like maybe one that's out, like that shows your entire self, because I have that on my profile.
Yeah, well, I feel like here's the thing. I never match with anyone that doesn't have a picture of how their whole body looks like, because the thing is, especially since I've been with a couple girls now that I ended up dating and I just wasn't physically attracted to them. And I want to make sure that the next time I get with someone, it's like, okay, I've seen what you look like, both, I've seen your face, I've seen your entire body, I can actually be attracted to you physically.
Yeah,
and
honestly.
Then, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say, somebody was asking me what's your type, and I'm like, at this point, people have asked me too many times. I'm gonna start making a mood board specifically for the men that I'm into. Just like go onto my Pinterest and search up hot anime men and be like, honestly though, my type, I always feel like if we could live in a cartoon world, like in an anime type world, that honestly would be the most idealistic. In reality, that's not how things work. Because if I could live my fantasy, I'd be dating the hottest furry guy there ever was. Which is Death from Puss in Boots. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
I gotta say, for me, my type has to be nerdy but bubbly. Like actually has someone who has a positive outlook on life. I've been with too many pessimists, so I want to be with someone who's happy. I'm fine if they have depression and stuff. Like I get depressed. I have depression, especially seasonal depression. But I want someone who's can make themselves happy on their own, is willing to give me some space when I need it. But when we are together and we want to be obsessed over each other, we literally are all over each other. We're like, yeah, we're gonna cuddle. We're not gonna let each other go. We're here to watch a show, like snuggle up on the couch. Like I want a very comfy, snuggly relationship. Can be very romantic. But also, we can also be on our own, live our own lives, know when we need space, can actually communicate. God, I need a data communicator, like someone who's and someone who's logical is like, okay, well, this is a problem in the relationship for me, and then the other person's like, okay, well, let's talk about it, let's see if we can make it work, or oh, I'm feeling this way, and then your partner's like, well, why are you feeling this way? It's like, well, let me explain, I guess, past traumas, or maybe what event has led me to feel this way. I want to be able to talk about this stuff. I know it may seem like a lot to ask, but it's like I just want to be able to talk, and I don't care if I sound like a robot. It's like I like to understand my partner because I don't understand myself enough, and I want them to understand me.
My chat is responding, but I think they're males, which I know you're not into, which is why this is funny to me. Matt, the artisan in my chat, and Hero both say that they're both single and they match that. Feel free to hit them up.
Oh my god. Yeah, here's I wish, here's it'd be so easy.
Dang it.
There's so many guys, that have actually been like, oh my god, if you were gay or bi, I would totally date you. And I'm like, I wish I could, but I have trauma, so that comes up and resurfaces whenever I get hit on by a guy. So I can't.
You've told me about, and I understand that. It's understandable. You know,
Yeah.
like if it's something you can't get past, you just can't get past it,
Yeah.
and it's okay, and people should understand
But
that,
I
you
still
know. And
appreciate
if
the
people
homies.
don't,
I love my homies, you know? It's just I just can't date a guy, but I will
yeah.
totally if you need a wingman, I'll help you find somebody, but you know, I'll be the closest bro ever. I cannot date you.
Oh, Matt says, "Dang it," but Hero says, "Nah, I'm just messing."
Gotcha, gotcha.
He also adds that you seem like a lovely person.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah.
I try to be a nice
Yeah.
person, you
You
know.
guys should be friends. Do it. No, I'm just kidding.
I try to be a really nice person. I'm not the best at like. Here's the thing. I'm not good at keeping up with people. There are friends like I just had a content creator friend of mine who's a lot bigger than me. He just reached out and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can never forget you. You're awesome, Jen." I'm like, "Well, that really makes me feel happy because I haven't been in VR chat in like a year or two, and yet you
Yeah.
still remember me, even though we've only hung out like 3 or 4 times." And I'm like,
Yeah.
it makes me so
Those
happy.
are great.
The friend in particular I talked about is my friend Ollie Alcoholi. He's a really cool guy.
That's a fun name to say, Ollie Alcoholi.
Yeah, really cool guy, really fun. Like he just makes you feel welcome, and it really made me feel warm that there are people that are like I don't have to keep up with, but still think I'm a good friend. It's funny because this is why it's so messed up. My view on relationships. It's like, yeah, I like being distant, like with friends, like just because I need my alone time. And I'll do that with my partner, but most of the time when it comes to when I'm in a relationship, I very much am like, oh God, I love spending time with you more than anyone else.
Yeah, and I get that too because I've been in a couple of relationships like that, like my 7-year relationship and then my long distance relationship after that, not prior to that, after that. And then even like exes from like when I was a teenager too, I was just like, I am obsessed with you and I want you to be mine and please understand that I just really like you. And I remember when I was in middle school, the very first time that I was kind of like obsessed with this guy and he didn't immediately get it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to be very, very direct and hopefully that works. And it did. And I was like, cool.
I
And
literally
then
oh yeah.
and then I had to move away. So
Ah, that sucks. That
well, it's
sucks.
because I kept sneaking out to go see said guy, so that was my own fault.
Ah, damn.
And he always thinks years later that it was his fault, and I'm like, no, it was mine. I shouldn't have done that because like my parents were pretty strict at that time, and I ended up moving in to live with my dad. Fun fact, my parents are divorced, so.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm a fully, somewhat functional baby adult, so, you know. As long as
Yeah.
I know, I mean, like, given the fact that my stepdad was, like, a racist homophobic, I'm just glad I also didn't turn out to be a racist homophobic, so, you know,
Yeah,
win-win.
definitely, definitely. Oh, man. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I just, there's, like, when it comes to relationships, they're rough. It's like, and the thing is a lot of time, and it sucks to say this, like, you can spend years in a relationship, but you won't see red flags until they pop up, or sometimes you'll blind yourself
Yeah.
to them. So it's like it can take years. Sometimes it can be right away, but it's not that you see someone's true colors. I mean, it kind of is, but it's more you don't realize you don't work out till later on in the relationship, and sometimes you guys just have to accept that.
Excuse me. Sorry.
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and yeah, and that's the other thing too. Some people are like, "Oh, if you see a red flag, maybe you should try to address it." And it's like
Certain
that
red flags,
while
yes.
yeah, certain red flags, yes, you can try to address it and say, "Hey, you know, this is like especially like what is it? Love bombing?" Like a lot of the time people don't realize that they're love bombing. And it is considered a red flag because love bombing is one of those things that manipulators like to use to lure you in and then they will get you. That's how they get you. Like the hash-slinging slasher. But
I think I've
but,
accidentally
you know,
love bombed, but it's never to manipulate. It's like
yeah,
it's
it's
because I
almost
genuinely have these
always-
feelings.
yeah.
And it's just that I lose feelings sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes you just kind of go overboard, and especially with people with ADHD like us, when we start to hyperfixate, sometimes those emotions, and this is apparently true for majority of ADHDers, that they love hard and they love fast, and that's just
Yeah.
the way that
Oh my God,
that we
yes.
are, you know, and you know, it's something that we're not trying to intentionally do it. You know, it just happens.
And also, I hate...
And that's just something where you can approach and talk to somebody about it, for sure.
And I feel bad when someone's like, oh, you've been distant lately. It's like, it's like it almost feels like accusatory. It's like, I'm not trying to be distant. It's like, I'm not trying, okay, it's like, I'm not trying to do it to hurt you. It's like, it's just because I need my space. It's like, maybe I'm not feeling the same passion I had before. That doesn't mean I don't care about you. It just means that I'm, you know, I'm not feeling it as much. And it's a lot of the time it has to do with I start to see a red flag or something, and I'm trying to contemplate on my own, can I make this relationship work with this red flag I've noticed? And a lot of the time the answer is gonna come back to no, as I found. Like my last relationship I was in, a red flag that was mentioned very, very early on in the relationship, I kind of ignored until it actually happened, which was the fact that they ran on a rant about how they hate seeing people wear Blue Lives Matter shirts, which mean cops' lives matter, and they were like, oh, anyone who wears that shirt hates black people because they're going against the Black Lives Matter shirts. And I'm like, excuse me? And I ignored that red flag for a while. Until I was in a car with them on the ride home. Like, I was driving them home. Well, actually, we were driving to Red Lobster, because oh god, I've never eaten Red Lobster again. Bad restaurant. It sucks. Only their biscuits are good. Anyways.
I've only had it once. Go ahead.
But so we were leaving. It was my first time I've ever taken someone on a fall date. So I took them, actually, wait, no, I think I actually have... did that with my first girlfriend. I forgot about that. But anyways, so we went to the pumpkin patch, picked up pumpkins, we went to the corn maze, we saw sunflowers, did all this really, really nice fall day. It was so nice, took amazing pictures, and then it ended on a, like for me, that side of the fall day, it ended on a bad, sour note even before we went to Red Lobster, which that already sucked. But on the way to Red Lobster, as we were leaving the pumpkin patch, so there was a lot of traffic. It was very backed up, and there was a cop directing traffic. And we're right at the front when the cop asks us to stop so he can start directing traffic, so that way the traffic gets moving again. So he starts doing that, and then after he lets some cars move forward, he puts his hands on his belt, which I interpret as, oh, okay, it's a cop belt. He's probably just resting his hands on his hips, and it could also be he's pulling up his belt because those belts are heavy. My ex at the time interpreted it as, oh, like, and I know this because she literally whispered this vehemently out loud, like very aggressively, goes, oh, look at him, like put his hands on his hips thinking he's all high and mighty. Your job's not that important, dude. And I'm just like, oh. I was
kind of hoping you were gonna say she freaked out and said he's gonna pull a gun on you.
No, she just was like basically judging book by its cover, being like interpreting it as, oh, he's a stuck-up asshole because he's a cop and he thinks he has all the authority in the world. I hear that. I lost all leftover attraction for her, but I tried to still be like, maybe I can get over this, but just more and more kept happening. I was just like, I can't. This is toxic. It's like, too much. Also, welcome, Kaidos. Glad to have you here.
Somebody asked me in my chat, I know you're supposed to be interviewing me, but they genuinely asked a genuine question. If we, as people, if we both, hold on, where is it?
It's a talk show, so it's not an interview.
Oh, okay.
More like a podcast, actually.
Yeah. Do you two notice when someone likes you, or are you as dense as I am? And I responded in my chat that no, I don't notice at all, usually, a lot of the time, honestly.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. Like, here's what is worse. I think, I don't know if this is a guy thing only, but at least for me, I'll pick up signs that aren't there. Like, I will second guess myself. Like, if I see something like, oh my god, does she like me? I'll think that, and then I'll obsess over it. Or the opposite's true. If someone literally is trying to tell me, oh, I like you, I will be like, okay, well, they probably don't want to date me, though. They haven't asked me out. They like me, but they haven't asked me out, so they probably don't actually like me. They're just trying to say that because they're nice. So here's my advice. If you have feelings for someone, A, do not try and, like, especially now that telenym exists, do not confess to them anonymously. Dear God. B, do not drop hints. Do not try and be subtle that you like somebody. And C, just be direct. Just be like, hey, I like you, I'm interested in a relationship, and if you're not ready, understand, but I do have these feelings for you. And discuss that. I mean, it's just, that is, in my opinion, just the cleanest way to go about things.
Yeah, and for me, sometimes is also the same case, but I think it has a lot to do with anytime anybody is ever nice to me, I perceive it as like, oh, they actually like me as a person and they want to be my friend and or slash girlfriend, boyfriend or whatever. I'm not, I'm mostly heterosexual, but like, I kind of obsess over it for a little bit. Like this one time when I was in middle school, there was a girl who actually stood up for me when I was being bullied, and then I followed her around like a puppy for like a week because I was like, oh, we're friends now, and they never did anything after that, and I was like, oh, I guess we're not friends.
Oh yeah, no, I've done that too. I've done that with people with this talk show, and the opposite, where like I'll have someone on the talk show, we'll vibe, have a great time, and then I'm just too shy to reach out to them after. Or like I've had that problem, or I've been like, okay, we really hit it off in the talk show. I'm gonna try and talk to them after the show, and it's just I never get responses. It's like I feel like I'm being ghosted, and I know the thing is, and I've seen like apparently I'm not the only one. Apparently they do it to a lot more people than me, but still, after a while, here's the thing that people need to understand, at least for me. Also, real quick, Natalie, thank you so much for the raid, much appreciated. Welcome. Yeah, joining in on an interesting conversation about relationships.
Yes, because we like to talk about that stuff because it's very interesting and it's a very important part of your lives if that's something you want.
Yep.
Yes.
Both friendships, familial or platonic relationships, you know, romantic relationships, whatever you want to call them. All
sexual
those
ones.
Sexual ones, very much so. Those ones definitely need a lot of communication there. Let's see, Papa, or is it Podpara Skew? I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for the follow, much appreciated. And yes, hello Natalie, glad to have you.
Podpara Skew.
Yes, then
Hero.
Yeah, a lot of people.
That's my person.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Welcome. Glad to have you all here.
They're all my people now.
But going back into it, it's like for me, also like going like briefly, one last thing to add to my type. I very much am someone who's like you and me both have admitted to each other. Like I mean, we're very public about it. It's like we're hypersexual people.
Yeah.
So it's like we, you know, there's a high sex drive there. So it's like I'd like to be with someone who has the same. Which is why, you know, my first relationship didn't work out. Well, there is multiple reasons, but one, marriage wasn't on the table as well, but
yeah,
like,
and especially if that's important to you, that could be a deal breaker for a lot of people. Same thing with kids, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and that's also important to talk about. Like, I'm not big on kids, but it's like I'm still on the fence about kids. So
yeah. So for me, a lot of the reason why I broke up with my 7-year relationship was early on. He was like, "Oh yeah, marriage, that'd be cool someday," and then a couple of years later, he was like, "No, I've never been interested in marriage." And I'm like, "Then why did you say you wanted to get married? Like that's so stupid." That in addition to like obviously the emotional abuse and like some the things he was saying to me, and of course that was one of the things. Also not wanting to hang out with family. I always felt like I had to choose between him and wanting to see my own family, and he was always like, "Oh, well, you don't, you don't have to like not go see your family." And I'm like, "But I would rather you come and see them too, you know."
Yeah,
like
well,
that's the whole purpose.
And I will say, I actively like, especially so my ex. Here's how close I got to her mom and her stepdad. Her mom and stepdad really liked me because I had gone my way. I want to be accepted by the family, not just my partner. If that's an option. Of course, if my partner's family doesn't like me, one, that might be a red flag because if they're close to their family but their family don't like me, I'm like, well, if your family don't like me, we're probably not going to work out. But I try to be very close to the family, try to be very nice. 0% sex drive. You're the opposite, Everest. Oh my goodness. Hey, you know, that's fine. You just got to find a partner who fits your needs. That's what's most important. And don't try to change yourself to fit their needs.
Don't change yourself unless it's to better yourself and it's for you. Don't always
your idea.
Like change yourself for the other person, you know, like major changes. Like if they say, "Hey, can you stop burping into my face as soon as I walk through the door, that'd be nice," then obviously you want to change that because that it bothers them. But like, you know what I mean.
Oh, very much.
You know what I mean.
But But so big problem. So I mean, like I got so close to them for one. Like I was very nice, but so with it, when we had a big fight, me and my ex, I went downstairs and I was talking to her mom and stepdad about how it's like I wish I could help her. She lets all these problems like world hunger and all this get to her. She's very pessimistic, and the mom was like, "Yeah, she's been like this ever since she was a child, and it's been very rough. We tried taking her therapy, and like they really liked me. They really liked me." I really like them. Hell, I still wish I could be friends with them. I mean, I still would have been friends with my ex, but I don't think she wants that. Probably because I told her, it's like, I went in that relationship being like, hey, I want to make this work because I don't want to keep looking for a relationship. But, you know, I'd noticed to me red flags. I was like, this probably isn't just going to work out.
Yeah.
And,
I think I had a moment of deja vu.
know.
Thanks, hero, for appearing in my dreams and sending that same exact message from my dream.
Oh man, yeah, I've had that too. I've had deja vu so much, like where it's like I'll literally think I streamed something with a friend because I dreamt it. Who knows, like months ago. I love you, buddy. And then then as I'm playing, I'm like, I'm having deja vu. I swear I've done this. Like I had deja vu playing Lethal Company. I was like, I could have sworn I dreamt up this game existing.
Hero's like confused now. You didn't do anything wrong, Hero. I just had I'm watching Genesis's chat too, so I'm like,
yeah.
I'm just noticing a deja vu moment. You're fine.
But and I will say, so I mean, I like literally when I was talking to them about how I got locked out of her bedroom because she was having a pessimistic moment and being very depressed over stuff that happened. Her stepdad literally told me, is like, I can't believe you haven't left yet. I would have just broke up with her or gone home.
Right.
And the fact her stepdad told me to do that just kind of was like, oh my God.
You should also question why he has debated on dating his stepdaughter.
Well, he never said that, but okay.
No, I get it. It's funny.
But yeah, no, that's why for me, I like getting close to family. It's like I you know, even though I don't really do much with my family, but it's just because I like being on my own.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even the point for me is so that way they can be involved in a part of what has always been a big part of my life. I don't, and honestly, my 7-year relationship was the first boyfriend since moving to live with my dad. Back in the day in this state. So I still live in the same state my dad lives in, and my mom lives about a state away. So this was the first boyfriend that my stepdad and my mom have met since moving to my dad's state. And first thing he did was not even get up out of bed when they came, because I was moving into a new apartment. They came to kind of help set some stuff up in my new apartment.
You didn't get out of bed to help.
No, he did not. And even when he did, he barely did anything. And it was like, my stepdad's very old fashioned, and he was like, the fact that he never even got out of bed to come and greet us is like, he is not gonna be invited to sit at our table. Like, he literally is like said that, and he's like, he will never be invited to sit at our table. If you ever marry him, I will probably disown you. And I was like, all right, fair enough. That's fair, you know. And I always had this desire to defend him, of course, and then it just got to a point I stayed in the relationship like 2 years longer than I probably should have. But it got to the point where I just didn't even care anymore. Like, you don't want to come, then don't fucking come. Like, I'm tired of I'm tired of begging you to come and see my family. I'm tired of trying to bribe you to come and see my family. And I'm like, I'm tired of this.
You shouldn't have to bribe anyone to do anything. You really shouldn't. It should be something.
And you shouldn't have to beg either. They should just be, if they actually cared about you and cared about what you wanted, and wanted them to do for you. And like, this is like the only thing I ever asked. You know, I didn't really ask for much else, which is probably my shitty standards showing, but like, it was one of the few things I asked for. And he wouldn't do it. The second being not inviting his friends over after a certain time, but he also sexually coerced me into not doing that anymore, and I was fucking miserable when we lived together. And when I finally moved out, he texted me saying, shaming me because I didn't want to talk to him, because like, dude, I don't want to live with you. We shouldn't be together. How can we be together if we can't even live together? And that's why I stayed in that relationship way too long. So thankfully I don't have him in my life anymore. Like, I broke up with him like a year ago, or some shit, and I haven't talked to him at all since, and I'm like so much better for it, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I was harassed by another dude for over a year, so that was fun, but let's not get into that right now.
Yeah, no. I feel bad because, like, yeah, guys have their fair share of women troubles, but I feel like women have a lot more troubles with men because
Yeah.
it's just a lot more men have a higher sexuality and lack of respect towards women.
I agree, but I also can see where mental health, especially for men, and where their struggles are not really shown in a certain light. So like my dad, again, my parents are divorced, right? So my mom's hope apparently when she divorced him and moved a state away was to get him to not want to come and see me, but my dad refused to like not come and see me. Like there was court order and everything, like he could see me every other weekend, but he would always grab me for holidays and stuff, so he never never stopped trying.
Yeah. Which is a sign of I feel like that's a sign of a good dad.
Yeah, but when I moved up to live with my dad when I was still a minor, my mom barely came to see me. So it was kind of like it was interesting dynamic. She told me like she never stopped caring, but it's just like, I feel like I would probably do the same because we're the kind of people, me and my mom share this kind of an interest where we know we want to do the things and we know we care, but sometimes we have a harder way of showing it. So I've kind of
Yeah, I totally get that. I can be that way.
If I sound emotional, I'm sorry, but I mean probably won't cry about it. If I do start crying, I apologize, but I doubt I will. It's just rough, you know, to learn that what seems like her not caring is just in reality it's more like a harder way of expressing she cares. So, yeah.
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 No, I totally get that. I mean, it's hard. It's hard trying, like, how people show their love or show that they care. It can be very, very different for everyone.
Yeah. And like everybody when I was dating that 7-year boyfriend, they're always like, oh, if you just stopped getting overworked about everything, and you know, if you actually listened or like you know, understood. And I'm like, I get it. You know, I understand people express things differently, but he literally will not talk to me about anything. Anytime I approach a subject of like me being insecure about something, he will not talk. He just shuts down.
Dude,
and I understand people just can't communicate, but like that was just like terrible.
There are people who need to be with the communicator, and I am one of those people, and that's why it bothers me so much when I see so many. I think is I mainly see it with my female friends. So many of my female friends are with guys who they constantly complain and they're like, he won't let me communicate about problems. He won't let me bring up this. He won't let me bring up that. And it's just like I'm like, well, you need to force this to be brought up that this is a problem, or you need to get out. That's my belief. It's like you need communication, and if this guy's not gonna give it to you, you need to find someone who will. I'm sorry.
And I can say from my perspective as a woman that a lot of the time we have this belief that not that we can change him, but that we see the best in people, and we know that they can be the best version of themselves. They just have to want that for themselves, you know? You can't change a person. They have to want to change.
Yeah,
they don't want to change.
Sometimes guys want to change, they just don't have the effort. They can't put the motivation into change.
Yeah, or they just, well, if they want to, they got to communicate that too. See, it's all about communication, because like if I wanted, I wouldn't have known if my ex wanted to change if he told me. He said he was going to do changes, but he wasn't doing the changes at all, or wasn't doing them fast enough, you know? Like, it took me threatening to break up with him the first time for him to actually get his driver's license.
Oh my god,
and he finally got his driver's license. And he was like, I'll use it to come and see you. And guess what he did? Not hardly see me at all.
Oh my god.
I always had to go to him still.
This is why I was so happy when I actually finally did get my license, because the first like year I was with my first girlfriend, she was the only one who had a car.
Yeah.
So she would drive me around or pick me up places, and then when I got a car, I was finally able to do it for her.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of what our standards, as you get older, you know, and you go on more dates and you experience more things, you develop what your standards are. You develop what you can tolerate what you're not willing to tolerate, what you are going to put up with and everything. And there are certain things that I just will not put up with anymore. And those are some of those things where it's like, okay, next time if I decide when I am ready to get into another relationship, because at this point I'm just going to take like time. I don't know how long, I don't know when, it's just whatever time that I need. But I know that the next person I date is going to be like, okay, he's going to have to drive. He's got to be willing to come see me. He's got to be willing to do like compromise with like visiting family and everything else. And like that's all. I mean, there's more to it, but that's basically what I've learned.
There's a lot, like and that's
there's a lot of shit.
And that's why it's, to me, it's like, I think also part of being ADHD is you like in moving fast relationship, you like to make sure right away, okay, I know that we've only, you know, been talking to each other and we're interested in each other and it's only been like maybe a week or a month, but let's talk about some very important things in the relationship.
Yeah, the very serious stuff. Yeah, because you want to know immediately if you're going to be compatible or not, especially with later down the line stuff. And like before I moved in with my ex, like I waited a year. And I was like, a year seems long enough. And then some of my friends were like, a year seems really short. And I'm like, but it's a year. Like,
it is. Oh my
a year's
God.
long enough.
It's like, I don't know. People say don't have high expectations. Don't go into a relationship with expectations. But I think at the same time you should, because you should.
I do.
Yeah, you should let someone know, hey, these are my expectations. These are what I'm looking for. Like,
and even. And even when I say I have no expectations for this, and my back of it starts to creep up on me. And it's just like, yeah, no, I actually have expectations. You know, like I want to move in at a certain point. I want to do this. I want to have these conversations, and then they don't happen, and then I get frustrated.
You want to know? Okay, this might be a hot take. You want to know what I want, Dividia? You want to know what I want? I want to be able to literally have a conversation and be like pull my partner aside, be like, hey, so just so you know, I've noticed these red flags about you. And I want to discuss these. I want to literally be able to tell my partner, be like, I have red flags about the relationship. Let's talk about them. Because I will say, I tried doing that subtly with my last relationship, but I don't want to just be subtle anymore. It's like, if I see something that's a red flag, I want to just be like, so this is starting to become a deal breaker for me. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Because I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste my time. It's like, I want a relationship to work. I feel like I need, especially the big problem I need to go in a relationship, start out as friends with somebody, go from friends, and then let the relationship evolve from there.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the healthiest way to do it.
It's honestly probably going to be the only way to do it at this point. I'm almost 30. Old by VTuber standards, apparently. I am ancient. And I don't have time. I don't have time to deal with stupid people, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be turning 25 here in April, so I feel
midlife, or no, wait, not midlife. It'd be quarter life crisis. When is going to be your quarter life crisis? I can't wait to hear about it. I actually had a quarter life crisis pretty late, honestly. What did I do for my quarter life crisis? Oh yeah, my dog. I have a dog. I got a dog. I became a VTuber in my quarter life crisis. If you're ancient, then I'm about to turn to dust. Early 30s. Yes, of course. Don't you know if you're over 30, you're ancient as fuck?
Oh man.
I became a VTuber.
I don't know. I'm also hoping that next time I get in a relationship, I can be with a partner who also can, who will try to they won't force it, but they'll encourage me to do better, like encourage me to exercise and get into shape. Like, it's not that I'm not fat or anything, but I have, you know, I've got a little bit of a gut now, which I always said I never wanted to have a gut, and I'm like, God, it's not a bad one. It's like, you know, but it's like.
Like almost dad body, but like not here. Hold on, I have gut too. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, Matt. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anyone who is here, I appreciate it. I know the conversation for a bit has been on relationships, but I appreciate anyone who is here.
Yes. First, I'm gonna take a quick break myself. I gotta let my dog out and stretch, and get something to drink. Sorry, my tracking is because I'm still standing.
No problem. Feel free to go get some drink.
Yes,
Jeez,
I
that was
shall
a
be
nice
back.
one.
Thank you. Excuse me.
But yes, and while that, I'll just keep talking, everyone, while you're gone. Yes, very much appreciate everyone coming out to the stream. Like I said, this is this isn't so much an interview. It's why I'm glad I changed the title of what the series was, because originally it was like VTuber interviews, but it's not really. It's a talk show slash podcast. It's also probably leans more towards podcast, but I like calling it a talk show. It's like I talk or do whatever I want on this show. It's my show. I talk about what I want when I want. I'll nerd out about Halo one episode, and the next I'll nerd out about relationships. Like, it's whatever I really feel like making it about. And that's just how I see it. But, it's very rough. And I will say, people... One important lesson I've learned when it comes to relationships, at least when you're not in one, is to have confidence in who you are. And also to love yourself. You gotta love yourself before you can love someone else. And if you're going to talk to someone, be like, oh, I like you, it's so much better for you to come at them with confidence, be like, hey, this is who I am, and I'm like who you are. From what I can tell, I really like who you are. And if you can actually confess like that, that's what you should do. Because if you're gonna be in middle school, I was so embarrassing. I was that kid who would be too shy to ask somebody out. So I'd ask their friends, be like, oh, do you think this person, are they looking to date anyone? Do you think they'd like me if I asked them out? And oh my god, dude, those friends would go to that girl, and then they'd start joking. I could see them start laughing about me. So... And then also I'd get bullied a lot in school by women. So really hurt my self-confidence. But that's why over the years, I think that's why I have been able to actually become friends with a lot of female friends of mine. I'm not saying that I've done it just to date them, but I have a lot of female friends because I've gotten over the trauma of being bullied by women in school. And that's because I just have more confidence in who I am. That's why a lot of people apparently people think I'm intimidating, or they think, oh, he's cute or he's attractive. I am just me. I want to be accepted for who I am, and I want to be with someone who accepts who they are themselves. Like someone who is confident in themselves and wants to put their best foot forward and be like, this is me. This is what I have to offer on the table. And, it's just, confidence is something that applies to everything. If you're confident in life, it's going to help you. If you're confident in your skills to teach someone, that's going to look good on you. If you're confident in your ability to tell someone what you like about them or communicate with them. And here's another thing. Confrontation. If you can be confident enough to confront someone about a problem you have with them, that's a lot better than just talking shit behind their back or trying not to face the problem and just putting up with these things you don't like about the person. Confront them and be like, okay, I have a problem with you doing this. Be confident in who you are and what you need in life. And yes, the fluffy tail, yes. I really relate to people perceiving me as intimidating. I don't know why people do that. It's very weird to me. And yeah, midlife crisis can happen anytime in your life. And you can have multiple midlife crises. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is mental health is a very important thing. Let's see. It's always good to change things up. It's a great way to find and improve things. It is. It's very important to change things up. Change your life, change who you are, but make sure you're changing for the better, I will say the one thing I wish is I could do is stop being a procrastinator, be better at schedules and sticking to them, and I really wish I was good at maintaining motivation to finish the things I start. I have so many unfinished projects or things I've canceled just because I lost the motivation or the confidence to do them. And it's a problem. They're like I acknowledge my flaws very much so. I'll look at myself and I know what things I should change. PRB changing for the worse. Oh my gosh. Jesus. It turns into a hobo. Oh boy.
I have returned my flower. A changed bee. Have you seen those commercials?
I don't think so, but
it's the Nasonex.
Gotcha. To be fair, I've not watched TV in years.
Well, this was an old commercial.
Okay, gotcha. Maybe I've seen it then, but I'm not sure.
It's got the animated French bee that flies around. He's like, "Oh, I want to love you, but my seasonal allergies," and I'm like, "You're a fucking bee, goddamn."
Oh my gosh. Let's see, just use procrastination. I'm rushing to get videos uploaded because I keep putting it off. I am very much the same. I should be making YouTube shorts. I have videos, I have like 4 videos my editor has made for me, and I haven't looked at them yet because I don't like watching my own content. I really don't. Like it's not that I don't like hearing myself. I just get bored because it brings back memories. I'm like, I've already seen this. I've lived this. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I had the ability to be like, okay, just like I don't even have to look at it. I just trust my editor enough that he's doing a good job.
So here's the thing about me, because I also think some of my stuff is boring, but when I actually have funny moments, I can't fucking stop watching my own funny short that I made out of it, and I think it's fucking hilarious.
I will say that happens to me too. I will say if it's something really funny or I'm really proud of, I will watch it until I get sick of it.
Yourself on repeat. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll watch until I get sick of it. Yeah, that happens too. And that often happens when I record a really good video, I will say, because then I'm trying to make sure the edits look good, so I'll watch it 100 times, and then by the time I release the video, I'm like, I don't even want to watch it because I've already edited the whole thing. I've seen everything way too much.
Yeah, I think my best thing that I've actually enjoyed watching myself redo it was the Coffin of Andy and Lily, just because it's like I'm giving them voices. I'm like, Lily, you shouldn't be locking that girl in the trunk. And I'm like trying to get them voices and trying to make Andrew sound like a hot emo boy. And then for whatever reason, I made Ashley sound like a valley girl, even though she's an emo goth, terrible person. And I just like,
oh my
that
God,
to me equates to valley girl. And I don't know why.
Oh man.
Oh
Also,
my God, Andy.
Oh man.
God,
man.
but those are the kind of games I like playing the most and also enjoy doing the most. So anything that I can actually kind of like voice act through or anything like that, I'm actually hoping to, even though I've already played it, excuse me, on the channel before, do Undertale and Deltarune again, just because it's just so much fun to give them voices and just play
really
through
fun.
them. And also, I don't actually have like a video series up on my YouTube anyway. It was only ever on Twitch, but now that I'm trying to actually like upload stuff to Twitch, it would make, or to YouTube, it makes more sense to like stream that game again and like edit it down and put it up as like a playthrough or some shit. So
yeah, I just wish I could like. I wish motivation was something I could always have, but it's like sometimes it's so hard to get motivation back. I don't even think it's a mindset thing. I think just mindset motivation is something that comes and goes.
It is, but it isn't. So like with it, especially when it comes to editing. So fun facts for everybody who is new to me. I'm Dividia. But not only that, I have been a moderator. I've been a moderator. I'm not just a streamer. I also moderate for False ID, the Newsman, VV-chan, the Dragon, and the other TVS people. But I have also edited for False, and I have also edited for Merryweather as well. So I actually went on a hiatus. Yeah, I went on hiatus editing for them because I decided to go back to college, but I was starting to get burnt out from editing prior to going to college, but I was just completely burnt out even before going to college. And I was like, man, I feel really bad not having the motivation to even edit for other people, even though I'm getting paid for this. Like, I enjoy it more when I can do it for myself, you know?
Yeah.
In certain things. It's like when I first started as a VTuber, I actually wanted to be a clipper just like Cooksy and other people's shorts and stuff for fun, for the people that I enjoyed, and the people I was frequently watching was like False ID, and he had funny moments for sure that not a lot of people knew about. And when I started doing that, I actually ended up taking a position as a freelance editor for Mary because he was calling for some editors, and that's how I ended up working with Mary for a little bit, and also working on projects like the Vishoujo Mythos
Clippers
lore
are
video.
underappreciated,
So,
honestly. Like, God,
they are.
what I would give to have someone actively clipping and uploading my content, just them trying to grow their content, but also trying to help me get noticed. Like, God, I would give
Yeah.
anything for that.
And the fun and it's always been debatable, and some people are just like, man, Clippers shouldn't be allowed to be monetized or whatever because they're taking other people's content. I'm like, I can agree and disagree with that, and the reason why
I feel like maybe they should send some of their cut to the person they're clipping.
Well, here's the thing. There's a reason why I agree with that statement is because if all they're doing is just clipping it and re-uploading it, then I think that's a problem. However, if they are not employed by that particular content creator and they're clipping and editing the video and, you know, adding their own humor
spin
to it, yeah, then I think they should be monetized, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're adding to the person. Like, the person's probably funny by themselves, but if they're adding their own humor and their own edits to make it even funnier, then I think they should be monetized for it. And people don't really make much off of the shorts anyway. So what's the harm in getting like 10 cents per short, you know?
Yeah.
Or whatever the demographic is. I don't have any idea.
For me, I hate thumbnails and descriptions and titles. I hate that. But what I really should do, I keep thinking it, I really should take like highlights or just clips from my talk show, even if it could be like an 8-minute conversation. But if I just take that, cut it down to the best bits, and just upload it, and just be like, okay, here's a conversation I had with this person. It could be very interesting, and maybe that would help me grow a bit quicker.
Yeah.
I really been meaning to. It's just I just don't get. I just don't have the motivation to do it.
And that's part of why I wanted to be what I wanted to work with some of the editors, because not only would I get a little extra money for it, and I've actually been able to get some pretty neat things with that money. Like, for instance, I decided to switch pants while I was taking a break because I was wearing my baggy jeans and they're comfortable, but I was like, I want to put on my sweatpants. So I ended up buying Shy Lily sweatpants using money that I earned from, I think this was specifically when False paid me. So I use that money I get merch for myself. I use it for like some certain payments, like a Discord Nitro, and like it adds up over time. It does, even if it's like $10 or $15 per short. It doesn't matter. It still adds up. It just isn't gonna, you know, pay your way. It's not gonna be like a full-time gig unless you're getting like paid a shit ton of money. You know. But it still allows you to get like extra things you normally wouldn't be able to afford otherwise, or like certain subscriptions you can get otherwise. So it's pretty nice, and it gives you the experience too. The thing that what it doesn't do, it doesn't give you the same kind of notoriety as being your own content creator and being on the same level as them would get you. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you as much of the exposure as you think it will. It takes time, just like anything, really, honestly. So if you think, hey, I want to be an editor too, and I want to be famous just like Cooksy or like whatever.
It takes a lot of effort.
You just gotta,
and time.
Yeah, you gotta remember, it's gonna take time. You still have to rely on networking. You still have to rely on a lot of things, and it's not gonna be a quick way to be famous or anything like that. So that's my advice for any editors or even content creators, honestly. Like, YouTubing's not gonna be your straight shot. Yeah, it's not a straight shot to fame. So
I will say
some people just get lucky.
I do want to bring out a segment real quick that I started up, a new segment real quick that I've been doing, like that I started last episode, where I will pull up a clip and I call it Explain This. So
all right.
I'm going to be pulling up a clip of you that I found.
Joy.
Let's see. I'm just going to need to move you over a little bit. There we go.
No. How dare you? Oh, what's that?
And then pull up a clip of you and something you said. Although you're not going to be able to hear it on your end, which is sad. I don't have a good setup for that yet.
I think I know which one this is.
Yeah, this is one where you talk about being adopted.
So, like, yes. Yeah.
There will
I
come
actually
a day
edited this sound, too.
where another bigger
Oh,
VTuber
wow.
will adopt me. I don't know
I'll probably
who,
show it to
I don't
my
know
chat
when,
here, too,
I don't know
because
why.
it'll help
Some
for context,
popular
but I'll let you
VTuber
play
will
that through.
someday adopt me as their child. They will take me under their wing, and they will say, Dividia,
Your channel.
you need to go forth into the world and be an amazing VTuber, and I will show you the way. Let me show you the way of the VTuber. Right?
Let me show you the way.
Someday it will happen. Someday you will know me no more as a small anime girl. Thing.
Small anime girl thing. I like this clip because it's just like you talk about being adopted by another content creator.
Yeah. Where is my Discord? It disappeared all of a sudden.
Not sure. But I think that one's funny. But like, I'm kind of curious when you are there any like when you say you're gonna be adopted? Are you referring to like they'll just show you the ropes or like?
More like when I was thinking about that, I think I was talking about, you know how, like introverts and extroverts, like you get adopted by an extrovert, right? So that was the mentality that I had when I was talking about it. So like you get a bigger VTuber who's obviously a lot more popular, or even like the popular kid at school, like taking you under their wing. So it's like that is more of what my mindset was. You're talking about the popular kid suddenly takes an interest in you. You're just a nobody really knows you. You're probably either like the loser, you're the lone wolf, or you're like the new kid at school, and they take you and they're like, I'm adopting you, we're gonna do so much fun shit together, and you're just like, so you know, like it's kind of like that. It's just like, yeah, this person who's you look up to, you admire, they're probably famous or probably not, or it doesn't even matter if they're famous. If somebody you admire and they're just like, hey, I want to be your friend, you're just like, you know, so
you turn into a seal.
Yeah, and you just like can't believe it.
No, that's fair. I totally get that. I mean, I feel like I've had that happen, but also I feel like I've done that because I tend to reach out to a lot of introverts and end up befriending them and introducing them to my friend groups.
Yeah, and when I edited that down, I actually sent that to you and DM because I was like, oh yeah, that one. I actually used Mary's model as the VTuber who adopted me. I did ask for his permission because I was like, hey, can I use, because this was shortly after he debuted his new model. I'm like, hey, can I use your PNG for a video short I had because it'd be funny? And I'm like, I'll like censor it, quote unquote. So I just put a black bar and slightly blurred him, and it's great. And he's got the big old gripper hand reaching for my tiny PNG thing, and it's just and that's the kind of stuff that I mean is like it's especially when it comes to my shorts creations and everything. It's short, it's stupid, and it's supposed to make you laugh. That's my intention. So.
Thank you for the raid, Solus. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. I hate like welcome raiders. Glad to have you. We're in the middle of my talk show. This is Dividia. She's a lovely lewd Mummy Tanuki. That is a very good friend of mine already.
Mummy monster.
See, I hate TikTok. I have one more video to upload, but won't let me. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, TikTok has a upload
TikTok
limit.
to be TikToking.
Thank you for the follow.
But like, yeah, the Tanuki thing, I think I explained it to you before. It's just the inspiration for the animal parts. I'm not an actual Tanuki or anything.
Yeah.
I just identify as Mummy and Monster, and that's about it.
Mummy Monster. Gotcha.
Yeah, Mummy Monster. I just happen to be fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy with a lot of fur and a fluffy tail.
Yeah, big old fluffy tail. Hold on. Yeah, big.
Gets even bigger.
The big floof. Yeah. Well, this is actually with its normal size. Before I wanted to have it toggle to a small size, so that way it wouldn't always get in the way in the chat. But then I decided I'm going to eventually just have it flop down, you know,
Gotcha.
So that way it's all the way out of the way. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this model that I drew for myself. This is technically a base. I got the inspiration from a base sort of model that I can make any additional changes that I want to it from Cozy Chew, actually. Because her models, her current model, and I think her next model are going to be bases where you can essentially just, if you want a new outfit, you could just draw it right onto the current model and just put it in Live 2D. That's the beauty of being your own mother and father. I can just essentially create whatever I want.
That's me with music. That's me with me making music because I'm not good at art, so I can't do that. I just draw rough sketches and send them off to people and then hope they turn them into actual art. But when it comes to music, it's something I've taught myself enough that's like, okay, if I want to make something, I'll make it. I'll make the lyrics myself. I'll sing the vocals myself. I'll get someone to sing them, and I'll make the instrumental myself. Also, Everest, yeah. Whenever I hear "mummy," you think, "Are you my mummy?" From Doctor. Yes.
Are you my mummy?
Are you my
Are you
mummy?
my mummy? No.
The ending just of that episode that was very sweet. Just this once, everybody lives.
Yeah. At best, I can be your aunt or your bigger sister, but I cannot be your mother. Sorry. Unless you want me to draw you, which is gonna be like $300, please. Thank you.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
Yes. But no.
Oh man.
more like I can draw you adorably, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I draw you small.
Draw you small. Oh man. But yeah, no. It's...
Can you be my son? Yes, I can be your son. That is also an option. I can be your child.
Oh my gosh. Ah, jeez. Oh man.
I do not identify as he or him, but I shall be your son anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I guess we never did go over pronouns. She, her, or they. I don't mind if you use they. I used to bother me, but now it's like, if you're not sure, just use they, honestly.
Yep. They is typically, they or them is typically just the easiest way to not offend. Yeah, the easiest way to not offend someone.
Yeah, but I realize that and this is how I can get away with, like, a sad fact of being a woman gamer, by the way, folks, is that we tend to be more likely to be harassed in online gaming. I am fortunate enough, my voice is pretty ambiguous to be confused with the 12-year-old boys. Some others are not so lucky, unfortunately. Thankfully, most other people don't misgender me as a he, but yeah, it's just like one of those things. There's like, I understand now that my voice is pretty ambiguous, so like they is probably a safe thing.
Yeah. I have always hated that harassment over women online. I just don't get it.
And it's so funny too, because like that's one of the other things that online dating has attracted, because anytime I mention, oh yeah, I like to play video games, they're like, you're a woman gamer, oh my god. And I'm like, so you get the duality of people either like hating you because you're a woman who games, or they're just like, oh my god, I've never met a woman who games before. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, calm down.
Oh my, yeah, it's so weird. I just try not to speak in games. That's fair.
I usually don't either. I did actually, so I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite, and I'm essentially what's equivalent to, I think, a gold player, with a ranked. And somebody was talking to me from a previous game. They were like, oh yeah, you, Dividia, you were in my last game. I hate you. And I'm like, oh god. And so I had to respond. So I had to plug in I have a wireless microphone, so I plugged that in just to talk to the guy. He was actually pretty chill, so I was like, why do you hate me? I didn't do anything to you. But I guess I think I was his opponent last game and kept killing him or something. I don't remember. But he ended up being on my team the next game, and he was like being my support, I think, which was pretty cool, so.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty
We did not add each other as friends after the fact, though.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of competitive games. Like, for me, I'll play some games like GTA 5 or Halo. Mainly a classic Halo. I don't like Halo Infinite. Halo Master Chief Collection, like, Halo Reach, Halo 3. I like playing more casual shooters when it comes to shooters, or, if it's like GTA, I love the racing aspect. But here's the thing. I've grown up. I don't like playing with strangers. I've always preferred playing with friends, especially custom games. I like the party aspect of being like, let's just screw around and have fun. Like, I don't like taking things seriously. It's why I think Rainbow Six has always left a bitter taste in my mouth. It's like, I think the game can be fun, but it's not easy to just mess around and have fun in that game.
Yeah, it's not like And I'm kind of like the same way, but maybe minus friends, because honestly, I don't have too many friends. I've been able to make more friends now, more so than in the past, thankfully, due to VTubing a lot, and also just me, like, trying more to make friends.
Yeah.
But, more lately, I've been more open to, like, either, whether it's on stream or off stream, more so off stream, to want to play with like other people. So like for instance, while I moderate for Lady as a branch of moderating for False, I'd like to think that we're good friends, for sure. And then I will join Lady if she has an open collab or anything, or even if it's not even collabing, like we'll play Project Zomboid and stuff with Tavish and Lady and Wham and all those folks, and then we'll just all have a great time doing it, I think. And it's always fun, and just to mess around and do things. Sometimes I do get a little bit tired, and I'm like, I don't contribute as much as I should because it's a party game. But in the end, I think we all have fun. We all do our thing.
Oh, sometimes
and it's enjoyable time.
Even when I invite people to play a big game, like if I invite people to play crab game, or invite like a big group of people to play like a game, I guess like Among Us, it's very easy for me to get overstimulated or overwhelmed and just be like, I don't want to be here anymore. Even if I was the one who invited everyone, it's like you never know when your social battery is just gonna give out.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I'm like, hey, if I'm feeling like not so sociable, or even if I'm not like instantly, for instance, like I'll join in the group VC sometimes, even if I'm not feeling like talking myself. I just want to go in and vibe with them sometimes, and sometimes we're all just like not even talking and just doing our own thing. Like last night I joined group VC and nobody was talking for a bit, and then somebody decided they were going to show an anime, so we watched a little bit of anime for a bit, and then almost everybody left for a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, this is chill. It's just fun. It's just fun.
I've been hopping around VCs a lot lately as well because I'm trying to be more social, or I'll sit in one of my servers and I'll just wait for people to join.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more social, or I'll call people more. I'll reach out and be like, hey, you want to just chill for a bit and chat? Some people are like, why? Is it important? I'm like, no, just kind of want to just chill, you know?
Yeah. And it's so surprising because we're all used to, like, I used to be the kind of person who hated to text constantly, and I still kind of do in a sense, but I've kind of, my opinion of it has kind of like died down in it because it's all it's all you communicate with. I've been able to communicate with in the last couple of years, and I just kind of got over my bias against it. But you can't really beat voice chat or in-person communication a lot of the time.
You can't.
So
It's why I very much prefer doing voice chat over anything else.
yeah. And I also enjoy video chat as well, especially if I'm like video chatting with a significant other, because then you can do things and it's fun. But
okay, yeah, no, exactly. I'm exactly the same way.
But like,
and also,
being able to see the other person too.
Yeah, and those video chats can help, especially if you're in a long distance relationship. Those video chats can help make you like close the distance.
Yeah, even though you. Hero. Sorry, he sent like he was like, oh, emote in my chat, and I'm like, yes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
also,
that kind of stuff.
But not even just that kind of stuff too. It could just be just like being able to see the other person's face and see how their their face is moving, their body language, being able to see the body language, because that's an important part of communication.
Dude, being able to fluster your partner or flirt with them and seeing their actual facial reaction to being complimented or saying something it's so amazing.
Yeah. Like, when I had a long distance boyfriend, we would watch videos together. Like, I had to set up, so I have like this tripod at my house, because initially when I was gonna get VR, I wanted to get tripods for like, for the base stations, whatever. My VR headset doesn't require base stations, but I still have the tripod. And so I actually used that to set up my phone, so I could sit on the couch and watch the TV in sync with them, because they couldn't access, I couldn't access Netflix. Somebody couldn't access Netflix from the computer or something, or maybe I just wanted to sit on the computer, or on my couch rather than my computer desk. So that was pretty nice to be able to do. It was a little interesting because it had to be the video had to be synced up without actually like streaming from one person to the other. And
Yeah, but I mean, I got to sit on my couch and be comfy, and they also got to sit on their couch and be comfy, and it was pretty comfy.
If I do another long distance relationship, I wanna be with someone who like they'll let me fly out to them and they'll fly out to me. And it's like I want to be able to actually fly out and make plans to see each other, so it's not just long distance.
Yeah, and that's important too. So like our setup was that we were supposed to see each other once a month, but and honestly, and that's a lot of the reason why I ended up ending it with the long distance relationship. First and foremost, I wasn't really into the person because I was in my previous relationship, and I did not have enough time between the 7-year relationship and that relationship to heal from it. And and that's kind of what really kind of failed everything, was just the short amount of time. And I was not like, I would still talk about my ex throughout the whole relationship. I kept comparing my ex to the current boyfriend, and it was like, nah, you shouldn't do that. And it was terrible for that reason alone. But yeah, but the other reason is just I just can't do long distance relationship. One of my things about me is like I'm big into physical touch and physical presence. You have to physically be around me, even if we're like doing separate things in the same room. Like I could be drawing and the other person's watching their favorite videos that I have no interest in. I don't think that matters if we're having quality time together in the same room. So
I very much agree. I want that too. That's why for me, I will only do long distance with someone who's like within like a year or two. It's like, okay, we're gonna make plans to actually have someone move in. It's like
yeah.
And like it has to be like a very early discussion. Like, okay, if one of us, if we get close and we actually want to make this relationship work and we want to move in, how do we want to do it? Because personally, like, I don't even if like I've yet to live with a partner, and I'd like that. I think it'd be a very nice thing to do. I've also never lived away from my family, but I really want to try. And so I hope to meet someone I can trust enough to move in with.
Yeah, I honestly would also like to be able to travel more with somebody, but this year is gonna be my first time flying out of state. Or next year, not this year. This year was my first time flying out of state for a convention, but that's because all my local conventions will never come back. Maybe, I mean, the only one that I could go to would be, and I'm gonna name drop this just because I don't live anywhere near this place, but Anime Milwaukee is the only, quote, local convention that I could probably go to, but every other convention does not exist either due to a massive flooding we had near my state capital or COVID, and it sucks. So this was the first year I actually got to fly out of state, and I went to WeebCon 2023, which was awesome. Overall, my voice just really peaked or something right there.
Hey.
Next year I cannot go to WeebCon though because it falls on Easter and I work retail, so it would not be a very good idea. But I am planning on going to Offkai, so it'll be my second out-of-state convention, but this will be the first one I'm actually traveling solo, so I will not be flying out with anybody else. As far as the plans are right at this moment, I won't be rooming with anybody else as far as the plans are at this moment. It's just going to be me wanting to see VTubers in California, and that's about it. And I'm excited for that. True independence, finally.
I surprised my parents because I think this was like 2 or 3 years ago. I ended up flying out to Pennsylvania. It was the first time I've ever flown on my own and stayed out of state. So I flew all the way to Pennsylvania, which is literally all the way on the other side of the U.S. And I did that because I was going to move because I was having trouble with my parents that they were taking too much money for rent, like $800 a month, and so I was having very little to save up.
Christ.
Yeah, it was a bit too much to take from my account, so I was getting really fed up with it, and I flew out there, stayed 9 days to see if I liked it over there. I eventually decided not to move in, but that's how willing I am to move out from my home state. As long as I'm willing to move in with someone who is like will give me time to get situated over there, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing, because like you say that, and like I literally moved out because my stepmom, when she was still married to my dad, wanted to charge me over $600 in rent. And it's ironic now, given that I pay $675 for rent for my current apartment, which dangerous for me to say as a woman, but like I do live alone in here, and I pay for it all by myself. So it's like, man, you know, I've made it as an adult finally, but you know, and there are dangers to it, so Yeah, it is a little bit harder to save money, especially since I am trying to go back to school to earn more money.
Yeah, yeah.
But I try to make it work, and I did actually have to get a new car pretty recently because my other one was getting up there in mileage, so I have to pay way too much for my current car, but nothing that refinancing can't fix next year, so it's like,
Yeah.
you gotta make sure to manage your time and everything and know what you can and cannot afford. So like I can't afford anything more than this. Like I can't afford
At least till
an
you get
apartment
like
by
a
myself
significant
at
other,
$1,000. Yeah. Yeah.
significant other or a roommate.
A
something
roommate.
Like that.
Yeah. And that's the other problem in and of itself. Outside of my previous relationship, I've never lived on my own, so this is for me is definitely a learning experience, and I enjoy it. But the problem arises that if I do have to move, what am I going to do for if I have to have a roommate? And I also have to remember I have a dog as well.
Mhm.
So there are certain factors you gotta have to consider as you get older, and when you want to become independent and everything like that, and also finding roommates who aren't complete assholes, you know. So
Yep.
it's, you know, I don't have any horror roommate stories other than my ex-boyfriend, thankfully, but like that's enough to know that it's like I'd rather either live with somebody who is on the same page with me when it comes to like household boundaries and everything, but also I would much prefer living alone than with people who I can't
No, I agree
you
with
know,
that.
manage those boundaries with, you know.
I think a good test of how a relationship will work out is to see what it's like living together, because that reveals a lot.
Yes, yeah, and that's also, in my opinion, what makes or breaks a relationship. Not everybody apparently thinks that way, as my ex has shown me.
Yeah.
But like, it to me, that is what makes a lasting relationship. If you want to build something with somebody, you have to be able to live together. And if you can't live together, you shouldn't be together. That's my opinion.
Exactly.
That's how I believe. That's what I believe in.
Exactly. Let's see. You've seen that thing going around Twitch with the VTuber complaining about some rigger prices. I saw a little bit of it. It's always been a. Here's the thing. I think that some riggers charge too much for the little skills they have, but I think that some riggers who are very skilled don't charge enough. Because here's the thing.
What are mine?
Some riggers are trying to make a living off rigging. So if they're charging $8,000 for a rig, people have to understand that they're probably they're one of the best professionals in the market, most likely.
I think that also depends upon the art too.
Yeah, exactly. It also depends on the art. It's like, I think that it really depends per the person's skills. I think that some people are complaining too much. I do think, yeah, maybe some should be cheaper for the people who are just trying to get, you know, I think what we need is we have to have a cheaper side. Like, we need to have some people there for the more affordable VTuber models, and people are there for the more professional high-end models.
Hi, that's me. I don't draw full body models because I am only confident in being able to draw full body models for myself. Yeah. But I can rig one.
Yeah.
But my commissions are not open, so I'm just like, I'm aware of the issue, and I think that there's still a demand for simplistic riggers, not like your Kevins or your two Windtails, you know, like the simpler people.
Yeah.
So no, you don't need a full 90-degree head angle. You don't need a walking animation. You don't want it. And there are people out there who will rig that kind of stuff and not charge you black market prices for your kidneys, you know, or something that, you know.
Very much so.
For some stuff, if I were to open my commissions, like, again, my commissions are not open, but like I could draw and rig a chibi model. That's $300 base starting, and I think that's pretty decent for what you could get with the chibi model. So
yeah,
you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just me. That's just my prices. That's just what I came up with for my own personal skill set and for what I do. So yeah, I just don't have time. I just don't have the time to do it or promote it. So I'm search suggestion banned on Twitter. So
I just checked it.
I definitely can't. Huh?
I just checked mine last night, and apparently I'm not suggestion banned, which is pretty cool to find out.
Which is good.
Yeah,
which is good. Yeah, because if you're search suggestion banned, it's very hard for new people to find your Twitter.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's the stupidest thing. So I have to literally cannot post on Twitter to see if that'll fix it. And hopefully it does. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
hope.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's one of those things where Twitter won't tell you if you're banned, and they will not admit that they do ban people for that. And it's a type of shadow ban. So, and it's usually one of three reasons. It's either because there's too much not safe for work content on my Twitter, which I've only ever reposted one not safe for work thing for a giveaway.
Yeah.
And I posted something for a charity event, which I immediately deleted. So and I also posted stuff about the quote unquote sex update for Cult of the Lamb. So I'm like, I deleted those even because they had the word sex in it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna be safe than sorry and delete anything that involves sex, dicks, balls, whatever, just in case.
And then you're also doing the lewd tube.
Yeah, but that's spelled differently, and I did that on purpose.
But that's honestly
to
a
avoid
really
that.
cool show to talk about LewdTuber news.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually have something that's saved into my Twitter bookmarks that I want to address. I think it's that person, that disabled person that's been harassing a shit ton of people.
Oh yeah, Epic Mind. Yeah. Or Humble the Hedgehog, as he used to go by. Real quick, I'm gonna run to the restroom one more time. Real quick.
No, just kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Shit on the floor.
Oh my god.
Time to get swifty. I've been talking a lot. My throat is starting to hurt. Sorry, what? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. Who's doing what? Nothing. Don't worry about it. God. You guys want to hear my Ash Ketchum impression? You guys want to see my Christmas outfit? You want to see it? It's pretty. It's very simple. Go for it. Okay. Ah, I have ribbons. I'm festive. Haha. I am festive. Haha. Festivities. Trying the new meta? I might, yeah. It would be funny because I did have a Barbie nude torso. I do have a Barbie nude torso. There's no nipples on it. There's no nipples on the booba, so I could definitely do that if I accidentally show anything. There's no nipples. I can't get banned for that. Excuse me. Goodness, I might have to get up at myself and get something to drink. Carter, you're fine. Oh, wait. Look out. I will talk to chat in the distance because I can. Ow. Fuck. We're all dead inside. I like that face. I'm just lucky I don't have that type of skin on my model, just the shirt, yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be funny just to do it because it's just like apparently the rest of everybody is like, you can't appear naked on Twitch, and some people are apparently wearing pasties over the nipples, but I'm like, what if you have no nipples? Is it still TOS safe? And I can tell you it is because I had my VTuber model up without a shirt or anything covering the bare torso. It was literally no nipples, no sex organs that were... It's Barbie nude is what I like to call it. So if you ever had a Barbie and you took its clothes off, there's no nipples, there's no sexual things going on with it, right? It's just completely nude.
Sorry,
and I'm
back.
like, if I had a model just like that, I don't think I could get banned.
So you're in your Christmas model.
Yes. Well, the Christmas outfit.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's my secondary outfit. If I just change the color of the ribbons back to its original color, it's just linen. So this is my alternate outfit technically.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. Trying the new meta.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. So I actually, when I initially drew this model, I actually had a bare torso, which when I was starting the rig process and testing it on stream, I did pilot the model. Which, if you pilot a model that has like anything that's against TOS, if you are piloting it, you can get banned for it. So I never did get banned for piloting it when it was like Barbie nude, is what I like to call it, because there's no nipples or anything on it, you know? So it's technically safe for work because of that.
Yeah.
So, and I piloted it and I didn't get banned for it. So I'm like, I could technically do that. So if I wanted to do that meta, all I'd have to do was just remove the bandages
Yeah.
altogether. And there's no nipples, so if I accidentally show where the nipples would be, nothing's there. So haha, I've cheated the system. I am better. I have no nipples.
I would 100% press something wrong if you did have. I'm assuming to have a toggle.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, my character, if I had a not safe for work reference sheet, which I do want to make for my character, she would have nipples, of course, and they'd be the same color as the tongue. So I would have purple nipples.
Oh man. Oh boy. That's funny.
I will eventually make a not safe for work reference sheet. I just have to take the time to do it, and I can't do it on stream, of course. So
yeah.
like almost every time I start talking about something really interesting, your model's mouth opens like.
That's
great.
Oh my gosh.
Like.
Oh my god, that is.
Oh my god, purple nipples.
Oh man.
It's funny because one of another mutual person who also does model stuff is Susu, and they are the Astro Dog VTuber, and her nipples are blue. So that's kind of where I got that idea from.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool though. The whole doing LewdTuber news is really neat and stuff, and also you know, and I remember you publicly post on Twitter. I think like this was one of the things like that made me want to talk to you more. Is you talked about how you've had a lot of people that you know would distance themselves from you because of you being so sexual. Which is sad, or like you had a lot of people judge you for it, which I think is sad in this day and age that people are very judgmental about that still.
Yeah, or you get the people who are like look too much into it. Like if I want to talk about sexual topics casually, a lot of people end up getting feelings, you know, and they're like, "Oh, this person's talking about sex. That must be because they're into me or something." It's just like, no, I just want to be able to talk about sex casually, or you know, be expressive with my interests and things like that. And sex just happens to be an interest, you know? It's like, I feel like sex is a big part of majority of people's lives. Not everybody's life, of course, you know, because asexuals and everybody else, or maybe people with low libidos, you know, who are just not motivated to. But for majority of others, it is a big factor. It might even be a make or break in their relationship too. And it sucks when you want to talk about sex has good memes and that too. But like, you know, you want to make sexual jokes. You want to talk about like kinks and stuff. You want to talk about fetishes, like what you're into.
Yeah.
And I think it shouldn't have such. I think it should be more open. You should be able to be more open about it without being judged for it, or have people take an interest in you because you want to talk about it. Like it shouldn't be stigmatized as much as it is. I think so. That's my take on it. And especially Americans, we're so prudish about that kind of stuff, and it's just silly, honestly.
Yeah, and
like
then,
you go.
Also, it seems like so many people. It's like, despite the fact how many people have them, so there's so much hatred for people who do friends with benefits, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
If people want to have casual sex, let them. Honestly, like they're not hurting anybody. Hopefully.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Or if they are, hopefully it's with consent.
Exactly. I'm gonna go to work in the morning. All right, have a good one, Everest. Thanks for joining in. Very much appreciate you being here. But yeah, no, it's like, it's one of those things. It's like I've never really thought about having a friends with benefits. I think it's because the way I was raised was very, oh, you can only do sex with someone you love, which is why it's like it's something, a social moral. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna break it for someone or if I'm just gonna be okay with only doing it with someone I have feelings for.
Yeah. But it's like, that was also kind of the way I was raised too. But then I also learned you don't have to tell your parents about your sex life. And honestly, it's kind of weird if you do.
Yeah, true.
I think the closest I ever gotten to actually like talking about anything remotely like that was when my stepmom recently asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I told her I wanted a hot date.
Oh,
so then that's like the closest I ever got anywhere remotely like sexual anything with. Maybe I said something to my dad once, but like I don't remember what it was anymore, honestly.
Yeah, I think the only thing I ever told him about is how much I regretted my first time, just because it was something that was very much weighing on my mind. Because I thought, it'd be something special, and then it ended up being something that kind of just made me feel very gross about myself.
Yeah, and sometimes, and that's another thing. Like, there's so much pressure too when people are telling you about like your virginity and whatever. It's like it's gotta be with somebody special, and it's gotta be like this, and nobody tells you that it can be painful. It's gonna be awkward, and it's gonna be this, that, and the other thing.
And things might not go right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like stop romanticizing it. It's not. It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be terrible unless you're actually like with a partner who has already had sex before. Then it's probably gonna be better. But even then, they still might not even know what they're doing. Like my example of my quote unquote first time wasn't even penetrative sex. Like, and the person has had sex before, so even they weren't doing it right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when you're like 14, 15, you don't have any idea what the fuck you're doing. Trust me. It's going in the wrong hole or not at all.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Oh, it's like that's why it's like I want a relationship. It's why it's like it's why I think I'm gonna go into the next one with expectations, but also I want to make sure I'm with someone who will allow me to be more communicative about that stuff. Who I don't have to be afraid. It's like there's no like I could just be open with them about anything. Like that's just what I want.
Yeah, and you want to be careful with it too, because you don't want to talk about it too soon either, because you don't want them to be like immediately jump to, oh, this person only wants sex, or like, yeah, this person doesn't want anything more than this, because you got to be careful about the timing about it, because with certain friends I can talk about it, certain other friends I don't, because it's just we're not close enough, or they have a boundary where they're just not comfortable with it, which I respect,
Yeah.
But when you're trying to date somebody, it's a little bit of a finer line. You have to understand when is it appropriate, and
that
that's
might
a hard
be hard
thing
to
to
I was gonna
out.
say it's a very hard line to find because everyone's line is in a different place. For me, my line's very very early, and I think it's just because I like to move fast. It's like I like to get to know someone really quickly.
Gotta go faster.
It's like I like to understand my partner. I like them to understand me because it's like I'd like to get in. It's like, hey, you know what? Are we compatible? Let's find out.
I like to get in. Just slide in.
Oh my god.
You said it, not me.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 sec. Someone's knocking on the door.
I don't want any. Knock knock. Who's there? Me.
Sorry, my
who?
niece is apparently over and they're looking for my cat.
Meow.
But he's not in my room right now, so. What, you trying to be my cat?
Yes.
Oh my
Meow.
goodness.
Okay.
Oh my
Meow.
goodness. She wants me to give her head pats and scratches.
I have a thing for that, actually. Hold on. I can use points. But it doesn't appear on my model, unfortunately. I don't know how to set that up to where it does, though.
Gotcha.
Oh, apparently it's head patting you.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's great. Oh man.
Yeah, I think I have it set in a set position, so it's through trigger fire. I don't actually know how the head pat function works through OBS. Apparently people have like Twitch and model redeems that are linked to their OBS, and I'm like, how do you even do that? Like, I want to know. I'm not a professional.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that kind of stuff either. I am a little curious though. Like, if you were ever ended up doing a long distance relationship again, what are some things like ground rules you'd set up or things you'd need to have to make it work?
Not. I would think if it was long distance, it's not gonna be long distance. You know, like not like 8 hours away long distance. It'd have to be like closer, honestly.
Yeah.
Because driving for 8 hours sucks, honestly.
Or flying.
It's hard. Or I actually never flew down there because flying's also expensive, honestly, too. Like, it's all expensive if you think about it. Let me think. If it was in the United States, then maybe if they already were thinking about like moving immediately anyway, then maybe.
Yeah.
If it's in a different country, if they already were planning on moving to the States, maybe, but it has to be like within 6 months.
And you want
I don't think I could wait a year.
With you.
Anybody who wants to move in with me?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
If they want to move in with me, I'd first and foremost, I don't know. I think my current apartment would be fine. If they wanted to move in with me, I would rather not date them because I would want to maybe date for about a year or so, but I would want to be in constant contact because again, I have to have constant contact. I can't like physical contact. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think I could do it. If they were like more than 3 hours away, probably no. Maybe max 5. Maybe max 5. But anything more than that, no. If you're in a whole other country, no. Yeah. So I just yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, just
probably
hard
not.
for you.
If we're friends for a number of years and then you decided you wanted to move and we've already been friends for a significant amount of time, then yeah, sure. Then if you wanted to date and wanted to move in with me, then yes. But if it's like we just met and you need somewhere to move right now, then no, because I barely know
that
you,
was what I was implying.
so.
I was like saying
okay. Then,
okay,
yeah,
let me rephrase
think...
the question. Let me rephrase the question. So let's say you've been friends with someone for a while, and then you like you're long distance, and then you both decide, hey, you know, maybe we just see what it's like being a couple. You date for a while, and then imagine, like, I'm curious, like, would you consider doing that? And then eventually, if they're like, hey, the question was not so much if they wanted to move in right away. It's more like, would you want a partner? Let's say you do end up getting long distance. Would you want them to move in with you, or would you move in with them?
I would prefer them to move to me.
Gotcha.
Just because my family's here. If they're comfortable with moving to me, if they're not comfortable moving to me, I don't know. I would be fine like compromising like a certain distance away. So like for me, a comfortable distance away from where my family and friends are located would be max 3 hours. Anything more than that, I wouldn't move away, you know. So
yeah.
So if we can compromise and be somewhat close to both families, that'd be fine, but no more than 3 hours either way, honestly.
Yeah.
So, I thought about that at the very least.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. You're a very family-oriented person, so you want to be close to your family.
Yeah.
Which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, making your own family is another thing in itself too, because like you want your partner you want to consider them family too, and that's important too. I just mean like my overarching, the people who I, was raised by. So that's more of what I mean.
Yeah. Because, for me, for long distances, it would be very hard. So it takes someone, like, for one, like you said, video calls. I would very much value video calls for one. Talking to them in a video call, talking to their family in a video call, them talking to my family in a video call. The family's going to know each other. That's very important to me. Like, both constant communication and also not. It's like, when we want to communicate, we're both open, being able to talk, being able to admit, hey, I want to talk to you, and also being able to admit when it's like, okay, I'm busy or I'm not in a moment to talk, but still making an effort to be there for each other.
Yeah.
Because communication's hard.
Yeah, someone in my chat said, wow, spicy Christmas, I see.
Oh,
Kinda.
Kinda.
Honestly, though, if I can be what's the word? Blunt. My social battery's kind of running low, and I'm getting a little tired.
Nah, that's fair.
I'm not
that's
sure how
fair.
long these go on for, so.
We've been going a lot. Like, here's the thing. I go for until basically me or the other guest, like bring up like, hey, feeling like winding down. But so yeah, I'm down to wind down. It's been a great time though.
Yeah.
You've been a lovely guest, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, my throat's starting to get sore, and I'm like, I feel like I've been talking too much. And I'm just getting kind of
Well,
tired.
it was fun
so,
listening to you, you know? I hope you know that. I
Yeah.
hope that you're a great conversationalist. I know, social battery, hey, my social battery is getting low too, so I feel you with that. So, but you've
Yeah.
been a wonderful guest.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. It's always good to talk to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. Let's see. I'm thinking I'm gonna send a raid off to somebody who's currently doing art.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Yeah.
She
I'm probably
is...
just gonna do React for a bit.
Alrighty. You're probably gonna go and still continue streaming?
Yeah, just do like easy React low energy content, so.
That's fair. Well, then I'll send the raid off over to your channel.
Okay. Whatever you want to do is fine by me.
I can do that. It's totally fine by me.
Okay. All I'm gonna do, guys, is just watch Jacksepticeye play Spider-Man 2.
But yeah, thank you
So
so
if you
much for
like-
watching.
Yeah, if you guys like Spider-Man and Jacksepticeye, woohoo!
Oh, whoops. Oh, okay, that didn't go through correctly. Ignore that. That just didn't work. Let me try this again, and this should work this time. But yeah, let me go here and do /raid Dividia storm. And thank you everyone so much for watching. That's been lovely. Make sure you guys follow Dividia if you're on YouTube, using the description. I have all her socials linked. And of course, we're about to go raid Dividia, so go follow her once you go through the raid. All right, bye-bye, everyone.
Do it 'cause you can.
There we go. And